The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
All right, everybody, welcome. It is Monday night. We all know what that means. It's time for the show that's going to put you to sleep. That's right, folks. Folks, we have on the bottom of the screen here, at least he is to me, Joe. Say hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone.
All righty. Over to my, what appears to be my left, if he was sitting in my chair. However, he's up there in the spot where I believe Greg Brady is. That would be Krelbar. Krelbar doesn't say anything. What's up with your mic?
The mic ain't working, man.
Hello.
There you go. All right. Now we got it fixed. All right, everybody. Yes, Hannah Baum, we're going to discuss that. We can just jump right in. In fact, let's talk about a couple of deaths that happened this week. The death of Krelbar's microphone a few minutes ago was interesting.
The death of Bigfoot.
Yeah. Johnny Kramer, welcome. Let me just say hello to R. Wayne, Hannah Baum, and I think that's all that's in here. It says 21 people, but only 4 people have the power to speak and talk. I don't know why that is. All right, so Krelbar, you wanted to talk about a couple of deaths this week, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we can start off with
with
Larry
something
Storch.
light.
Well, let's start off with Larry Storch.
Larry Storch passed away.
Yeah. From F Troop. He was 99 years old. He was pushing 100 in January.
Kenny Isaacs, welcome. So Larry Storch was 99, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was also the voice of Phineas J. Whoopi on Tennessee Tuxedo.
I think he was also one of the voices in Go Go Gophers, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the begging the Colonel's pardon.
Yeah.
What did him say? Him say
Also,
that
he
ain't
was
gonna.
on that TV morning show, The Ghostbusters, with Forrest Tucker as well.
Really?
Yeah, 2 guys. That's
Interesting.
anyone remembers that. And another death, James Caan.
Yeah,
James Caan. Yep, poor Jimmy. Great. Jimmy used to be when we had Tim Kimber on the show from Golds. He could tell you. James Caan was in the gym every day. Great shape for his age. Super nice guy. Just sad to see him go.
Yep. Everyone knows him in Misery. Freebie and the Bean were the first driving
Freebie
movies
and
I
the Bean.
ever saw.
Yeah, he was also Sonny Corleone.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was in Brian's song.
Yep. With Billy D. Williams. And the big one, especially for this room, we're all Sopranos fans. Tony Sirico, Paulie Walnuts.
Paulie Walnuts died, everybody.
79 years old.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, he looked like, did he have a stroke or something?
I think he was degrading mentally because a few years ago I saw an interview with him with the whole group and stuff. It seems like he was struggling to.
Excellent. Also, I have a special guest today, and we're going to bring him in right now. And his name is Zims Guitars.
Hey guys,
Welcome.
How's it going, man?
Welcome, Dane.
how you guys doing?
Good, good. We were just talking about Polly Walnuts passing away this week.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, Uncle June shot some laser beams through his eyes and took him out.
Yeah. But let's not forget when the guy got beat up from Mustang Sally in the hospital, that Polly Walnuts brought the Whitmans. There's nothing better when he goes, "Hey T, I brought the Whitmans," and he looks at him like, "What?" Guy can't breathe in the bed. This guy's bragging that he brought the Whitmans. Dane, what's going on? Your shop is still open. It's 5 o'clock there.
Yeah, I'm open until 6 o'clock, and I've just done a bunch of restrings today. This whole week, I stay open over the weekend, but I've just gotten a ton of restrings recently, and so I'm stringing up a lot of guitars, changing a pickguard out on one today.
Nice.
And sold a bass yesterday, and sold another little Ibanez micro bass today, and stuff like that.
You know what I always thought would be a cool shop and something that Fender would have to get involved with? And I pitched this idea at West LA Music. But imagine if you just, you don't have to come out, because it's really hard for a company when Fender has 75 Strats in their catalog. It's like, really? You guys have to produce 75 different Strats? That makes manufacturing a pain in the ass, and also brings the price up of each instrument, because to make each one, it takes more time. You have to stop production of something. Whereas if you could make, let's cut it down to 10, but let's say you made one Strat that basically you sold to the store, and then the store could put on whatever, like the way a car dealership works. If you want to put on the pickguard, let the store pick the pickguard, let them, oh, you want to upgrade the pickups? We'll take care of that right here before you get out the showroom door. Oh, you wanted the AC Delco Bose radio system? We'll put that in your Strat. No.
The undercoat.
Anyway, but you know what I'm saying? Basically you would handle it like, oh, you wanted the all tech weather, what are those things called? The mats. What's those hard rubber mats that everyone gets? Is it WeatherTech?
WeatherTech.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You want the WeatherTech mats on this Strat? We got it. We got you covered. We got the WeatherTech. But basically, you could upsell. So basically, the Strat, let's say the Strat went for $1,400. Maybe for $2,000, they got it with the DiMarzio pickups. They got the pickguard of their choice. They got whatever pots they wanted to use. Maybe they wanted a treble bleed. Maybe they didn't. But you would get it like the way an auto shop, like a car dealership works.
So are you saying that when you sell them, they would just be gutted on the thing without a pickguard on them?
No, it would come with the basic, most stripped down version.
Basic, okay.
That
Because
way Fender can just
more value in doing it without anything on it. Everyone knows what Fender is. That you can put, and then you have a separate case with, you can have this on it. This.
Yeah, either way. But I figured you'd have to have some type of base model that if somebody just wanted to come in and be like, let me just get that off the wall and get out of here. I have a gig.
Yeah, you'd still have to have a few of those that you could play.
Yeah. So I just think that would be a cool type of thing, like a car dealership thing. And then also it makes the shop more valuable, because then the person, let's say they came to Zims Guitars and they said, hey, Dane, I want to get this guitar. I'd like these kind of pickups. What do you and let's say they're a player. They're not a beginner. Because if they're a beginner, I would just say, here's the model without the pickups. Play this for 2 years, then come back. We'll put some pickups in there so people have to suffer through it. But I would say, okay, you want these pickups here? These are great. These are, say you like Seymour Duncan. This is the Seymour, or these are Lindy Fralins. These are really nice. They want a vintage sound. You want this, you want that. Okay, you want the WeatherTech fucking mats? We'll get you that going in the case. I'm going to keep using that, Joe.
I'm afraid that Fender would get a lot of complaints because Joe Blow's music store down the street botched the job of putting the pickups in and scratched the pick guard, and then well,
the pick guard would be there.
Fender authorized.
Yes, it would have to be more selective of their dealers.
Yeah, that's true.
Just saying. And then I always thought that would be cool.
The guitar market and the automotive market are very similar in a lot of ways.
Yes, I thought in that way. But see, because the car dealership becomes the experience. Like people usually buy cars from the same dealer all the time because they trust them. They do the work for them. They know, you build that relationship. In the music business, there are no relationships anymore. There's really not a lot to go. I mean, you really have to work hard, especially you there. You do the string changes. So you have to work to build that relationship. But the manufacturer is not helping you any. Well, you don't sell new. But if you were selling new gear, it's hard to sit there and sell a Strat when Fender's selling it on their own website.
Yeah, that's the only way that I think I can make a living with having my own small guitar shop right now is because I have a secondhand license and I barter. And we will and deal. And somebody wants an American Strat, they're going to give me a couple of Squires and a Boss pedal and $600 or so. So I get those trade-in items.
Right, sure.
So I'm constantly shining up and reselling those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's that's a cool thing. I don't know if the Boss pedal is going to do the resell on you, but like one time I took a trade-in for a Timmy pedal. And I think I gave the guy $40 for it. It was part of a multiple trade, so I counted it as $40. That thing you could sell for the same price that Paul Cochran was selling them for, like $120. They're still very sought after pedals.
Yeah, you can double your money on pedals and things like that. And
yeah, it's a good market.
And then I also try to, if a customer comes in and I can tell that he's a player. And he's the kind of guy that is possibly even a collector, where he's the kind of guy that wants a dozen guitars. I'll kind of give him the first joint for free. You know what I'm saying? Like when you sold joints in high school, you'd give them that first one for free. And then every day they'd buy a joint from you.
Get them hooked.
Get them hooked. And then so I got customers that have bought 10, 15 guitars from me.
Now, Jim, let me ask you a question. Do you play the guitars in your store?
I do.
Now, wouldn't that be considered getting high off your own supply?
It is. There's a Strat in the back right now.
Tony Montana said not to do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure if you're selling cocaine and you don't want to be sniffing it all day because that's your profit.
And he's like, why does that Marshall sound so good? And then he pulls out the Boss SD1. Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, yeah. What would your little friend be? Which guitar would be the go-to little friend?
No, I think it would be a pedal.
A pedal. All right.
The SD1 when you play it in Marshall. Right. Hey, now.
But the guitar that I'm putting a pickguard on right now, it has a Kaler in it. So I can't wait to get it strummed up and play around with this Kaler for a day or so until my customer comes in and picks it up.
The funny thing about Kalers was because the nature of the system itself, acoustically on guitars sounds absolutely terrible. The guitars, they don't resonate. It just deadens everything. You plug it in. Those things are fantastic. If you like, because they can work the way a Floyd does, kind of. They can kind of imitate the Floyd. They can kind of imitate a Gretsch Bigsby style bar. You could do a lot with it. I mean, look at Adrian Ballou. I mean, they're great sounding.
Jason
great
Becker.
when you plug them in. But just, people, they get turned off by them because they play it acoustically. And they're like, well, I'm like, well, great. If you're going to mic that guitar without plugging it in, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah,
but if you're doing that, you have a different problem altogether.
Yeah, the string just
my material's not doing anything to me. Folks, I'm going to step into my B material soon. Anyway, so Dane, this is the red room that I usually am in.
Okay,
but
I like the night
red room. Yeah, last week I was outside smoking a cigar. The mosquitoes started coming out, and they haven't been out all. They've come out late this year, so I was like, forget it, I'm not doing it. Hey, Hugh Caldwell, welcome to the show.
Hey, Hugh.
I'm sure you know Hugh, Dane.
Yeah,
recognize his name.
Yep, sure.
Is a regular in the YouTube community. Hugh just did 100-mile walk.
How did that go?
It took him 70 days. No, I'm kidding. Hugh, how did the walk go? And have they amputated your legs yet? They'll be a little behind us.
100-mile walk.
Yeah.
That's like walking from Phoenix down to Tucson.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's,
to go to Rainbow Guitars.
Yeah.
In the middle of summer, that would kill you.
7 days, still hurting.
Well, I don't think you'd make it out of Phoenix.
Right.
Oh no, you
110
wouldn't
degrees.
make
or
it down
something.
the street. It's so hot today. The sun is just barreling in on me.
What's the
I have
temperature?
windows right here at the front of the store, and the sun is just like, oh, I'm putting up all these little posters and everything just to block the sun
Oh yeah.
and to block, and cars park right there. And the sunlight reflects off the windshields and the bumpers. And a lot of times I can't even really sit right here at my front desk because the sunlight and the reflection from cars, it's horrible. I'm going blind sitting here in the summer. It's making me
Yeah.
go
I
blind.
mean, Arizona sun, man, it's
a
strong.
bitch. Yeah. it
Now
is.
he did this walk in Scotland where it's a balmy 65 degrees in the middle of summer. No, I don't know. It's not that warm. It's 113 right now in Phoenix, says Richmond Vapor.
Yeah, I've
Cheech
experienced.
is asking. He says, "I don't even understand this question." He says, "No more Johnny Bean, Dane?" Question mark.
I was doing well every Tuesday night. I would go on Johnny Bean TV, and it's this guy with a YouTube channel.
Okay, I know Johnny.
And our
I
show
just
was called Talking Guitars and 80s Metal.
okay,
And
yeah.
one of the host of the show, his name's John Mancuda. And he's a New
Oh, I'm
York
familiar.
guy. And you guys know John Mancuda?
I've seen one show of him, and that's why I've only seen the show once.
He's kind of like bargain rate
the
Jonathan
whole
Silverman.
show. Yeah, he wants to talk about his penis through the whole show, and he's a comedian.
Yeah.
And he does have an awesome guitar collection. He has 300 killer old USA BC Riches and Jacksons and Charvels, and he loves the 80s hair metal stuff.
All
And he
right.
knows a lot about those bands and everything, but he just constantly makes pee-pee jokes. And Johnny Bean and them actually had a fight live while we were doing one of these things. And I
Oh,
was
I
in the
wanna
middle
see
of
that.
it. Just settle down, guys.
Do you recall
They
what
were
show
actually
that was? I'll
fighting.
look it up.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
watched
that's
him
Johnny.
one day. He was on his pulpit there, pontificating, and I was like, I watched about 4 minutes of the show, and I'm like, I can't ever watch this guy. This is just, it was nauseating to me. I don't know him personally. As far as being a comedian, he wasn't funny, nor was he entertaining, and that's just my own opinion, and that's why it's
Are
on
you
the. That's
talking
why it's
about
called the
Johnny,
deal.
or are you talking John Mancuda?
I like Johnny.
Oh,
I
talking
like Johnny Bean. I'm talking about the guy who's quote unquote comedian. It was just terrible.
Yeah,
He irritated me to no end. Where I was like, why would I watch this?
I know.
And
It happens to guys. It does. The other
and-
guys, they love that kind of humor, and they watch, and they're like, "You're the only reason I watch, man." So it's
right,
a give and take of both. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, I can't. You know, he gets a lot of people to watch his channel. Right now, I'm getting 24, which tells me there's only 24 intelligent people out there in the YouTube community, folks. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disparaging the others. I'm just saying, well, maybe I am. But no, I'm just kidding. Anyways, but yeah, no, Johnny Bean seems like a nice guy. I don't, to me, he limits it to the 80s stuff. And we talked about that. You really love the 80s metal stuff. I like it, but I was much more of the, like I was big into Sabbath and Maiden. I liked it a little bit more edgy than the hair stuff and the and personally, I really like the late 70s music. Actually, I like all the 70s better. The 70s music was just the 80s to me, especially if you just take out metal, because metal was its own thing. But the music of the 80s, the pop music to me was very throwback to the 60s. You had what's his name covering "You Can't Hurry Love," Phil Collins.
Phil Collins.
You had the big hit with "I Think We're Alone Now," doing the. I mean, how many Tommy James and the Shondell songs were hits in the?
I know. Yeah.
Right, and then
Money.
Money, and then
Right.
Billy Idol also covered "Forgot to Be a Lover," the William Bell song from the '60s.
Like I said,
There were so many '60s, and then the big hit "True" from Spandau Ballet is like a complete nod to the whole Marvin Gaye sound and that whole. So it was very a '60s sound. As far as the hair metal thing goes, it's just there was some I loved. Like, of course, I love the first two Rat albums, Out of the Cellar and Invasion of Your Privacy. I really liked.
Right.
I can talk about my disdain for Way Cool Jr., but I've done it too many times on the show. Although I did like Dance.
They got a little bluesy, which isn't the worst thing, but
no, but I thought it was I don't know what the word is, but it wasn't a surprise to me when a band like Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains came out and kind of put a stop to it. I was like, Thank you. Thank you, guys.
It
No,
got to
I
be a
mean,
bit much.
Yeah. And, you know, and of course it's going to come back, and it has come back because here we are in 2022.
You know what I got?
People
Let me
love
show you
Motley-
guys some.
People love Motley Crue. They love.
I have an old magazine here, and it's Bam Magazine, and it's actually, this issue is from 1987. And so Bam Magazine, I believe that is Bay Area music.
Okay.
And if you look back here in the back, well, here, page 2.
Allison Chains.
The far back.
How cool page 2 is. We've got a little ad here. And we're looking at Santana.
Uh-huh.
And we're looking at Heart. And then we're looking
Yeah.
at the Cult with
Right,
special
which was-
guest Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. That would have
Okay,
been right
so-
around the year they came out. That was the.
Yeah, so kind of a fun magazine to look through. But when you get here to in the back of the magazine, you start to see
I'm with you,
you
Richmond.
start to see all the bands that were like, hey man, we can do this. We look exactly the same.
Oh,
We
Tramp.
sound exactly
Let's get some of
the
these big
same.
names up here. This is gold. Tramp.
Tramp. Is that Mike
What else we
Tramp?
say?
Renkus Tide. Special.
Phobia.
Liquid Mirror.
Oh, Erotic
So I can
Kill.
see how, dude, we're
Street-
getting into
Street
this.
Angel?
They all look the
X,
same.
Prodigy. Hey, look,
There's
Prodigy.
nothing new here. Yeah.
What is that called? Liquid what?
Liquid Paper.
Fair
It's on the left.
Warning, Prodigy, Street
What about
Angel,
Final Warning? The
Instant
wedding
Axe.
singer? Say Kick-Axe?
No, not Kicksack. Agent X.
Oh,
You
Agent
got
Axe.
Lace. You got Phobia. Liquid Mirror.
Liquid
Is
Mirror.
Tramp. Is Tramp Mike Tramp from White Lion, or was he already out?
That was a
Liquid Mirror
Grizzari.
must have just seen the Prince of
that's
Darkness, and they
Grizzari.
named them band after it.
That's Grizzari's in 87.
Gazaris.
Here's some combat record stuff. So in a
Evil
way, in
Dead.
87, the thrash
Sacred
music,
Reich.
yeah, the thrash music was doing good.
Yeah, Sacred Reich. Yeah.
So we
Chuck
did have
Landis's
some
Country Club.
thrash metal happening.
Well, thrash was coming in, but what 86 was Megadeth's first record. Metallica was already 86. What they already had, a Master of
I'm
Puppets was
telling you.
86.
You may find Alice in Chains in there because they were in the Bay Area and they were a hair band around that time.
I don't think they were the Bay Area.
Yeah,
they
but
were in
closer to
Seattle.
About 90, 91. They're about 2. This is about 2 years.
They ended up moving to Seattle.
Here's
Oh, they did?
the Cat House ad. And so you're
Ricky
seeing the
Rocket,
band called,
Feline.
Oh, Felines playing the Cat House. How appropriate.
and then you're seeing the damn
Damn
Yankees, here,
They were
right?
good.
Can you
87?
take me?
They weren't even around. They weren't even around.
I don't
Nate.
think that's the damn Yankees that we know of.
Oh man, you're
No, you're
kidding.
right.
I don't think that's
That's
them.
horrible.
That third guy looks like Nikki Sixx.
Yeah, but
How does
this
that
guy
even get
is
allowed?
sort of showing us
What do you mean get allowed? That was in
why we
87.
got
Damn
sick of
that
this.
damn Yankees.
Why
That
did
was
we
3
get
years.
sick of this? This magazine's kind of
Warren-
proof on, and it's kind of showing us what.
Warren-
Why did we get sick of
Lawrence,
this?
huh?
Crowmore. Paradise.
And I've heard of that band Tough.
You
I
have?
think they might have had an album or something going on.
Wow.
But yeah, this when you're looking through here, and every band, this is the Troubadour ad. Every
Okay.
band is exactly the
Together-
same, and they cared
Halloween
about
regime.
what they cared
Halloween.
about was what they looked like.
Yeah.
And
Fortress.
back
There
in
was a
these
band called
days, we
Fortress.
didn't have like digital. To make a record in '87, you needed somebody to throw you a lot of money to get in a real studio
Andy
to
Dion,
do
welcome.
it.
Yeah.
You couldn't
You
do
gotta
that.
put it on your 4-track.
Yeah, you couldn't do stuff.
Hey,
on
what
your
time does
4-track
Fallout
that
play? Maybe I can catch that show.
Yeah. So
I get
this
the
kinda-
Wayback
when you
Machine
look
from
at this, you're
Mr.
kinda like-
Peabody.
It makes you sort of understand. Okay, they all look the same, and I kind of get why it fell apart, because it's all the same shit.
Right.
Guys with the big
Shree.
hair and the hats on. And in
Razzmatazz.
'87, you couldn't just go do it yourself recording. You had to have money and backers and studio time, and the
And
average
hairspray.
guys, they couldn't do it. Yeah.
Thanks for pulling that out. That was entertaining.
Yeah, that's a fun magazine.
Bam, I never heard of it. No, Cheech, I'm in the cigar smoking. I'm in the garage right now smoking a cigar. He's like, no. The question, no cigar in the garage tonight? That would be correct. That would be correct.
He's in the red room.
I am in the red room. I did smoke 2 cigars before I came on. Yeah, I could be in poison. An early awesome 70s Kiss vid got leaked. Last channel, Sam Luminous, if you want to check it out. I'll tell you what my favorite Kiss video is. If you guys can, if you're ever on YouTube, just look up Kiss Live, Love 'Em, Leave 'Em. The Gene Simmons moves in that video will make you wet your pants.
Sideways. Hey.
He is a genius in this video. You see, anyone that can badmouth Gene Simmons and say he was just a marketing guy doesn't understand the genius of his stage presence. You have to see Love 'Em, Leave 'Em.
Are you being sarcastic?
Oh my God,
No.
absolutely. You have to watch it. When he gets to the chorus and he's moving that bass so in his head.
It's
All right, Tokyo. I mean, he's a wizard.
They worked hard on their like choreographed moves and all that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Love 'Em, Leave 'Em. You will watch Gene and be like, I watched that video and I'm like, fuck, I think I'm going to sleep with the guy. Thank you. Nothing. That was nothing tonight, huh? I can't get anyone to crack a smile. Nothing. Folks, my material has hit rock bottom.
I think.
Thank you, Krell.
Because I have it marked as played, so that means you must have brought this up a while back.
Oh, you have to see it. Or you watched it on your own.
Yeah, because
You could have watched it on your. It is pure joy. There is no joy greater than seeing Gene sing Love 'Em, Leave 'Em. And I think in the video, they took the actual recording of the record and put it over the live video. But it's just to watch Gene do his work. It's like, you got to be kidding me. This guy, you're saying he's a marketing genius? The guy was out. If I was, what was that, 77? So if I was 9 years old in the audience, I'd be like, that's a monster. That guy right there is a monster. The only thing that could top it right now is if Hulkbuster came out behind the stage. I told Moses, by the way, you want his Hulkbuster doll. He was like, no way. So the funny thing was, so Moses came over the other day with an Iron Man toy and a Hulk toy, and the Hulk is wearing like the stretch outfit, whatever that outfit's called.
Oh yeah, from the Avengers.
Yes.
That's
so
Hulk.
Oh, it's not good. So I said to him, why is Iron Man's head so squashed into the body? And he just says, because it opens up. I said, no, but why is the costume not right? That's not the Iron Man costume that I know. So I take a picture of it and show Joe, and Joe goes, I want that Hulkbuster. And I realized that's the Hulkbuster Iron Man.
Yeah.
So the next day he comes over and I say to him, hey, are you, I go, is that a Hulkbuster Iron Man? I go, I asked you and you said it's because the lid opens. He goes, no, Hulkbuster. The kid's a wizard, by the way, an absolute genius. But yeah, he's 6 years old.
Iron Man has made 1 billion Hulkbuster armors. Hulk has busted every one of them, and they've
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He actually made one out of a celestial, which is like a cosmic god. Hulk fucking broke that one too.
He's like you, by the way. Moses comes up to me and says, who's your favorite superhero? I said, well, although I prefer Marvel, Superman is my favorite. And he just says, no, wrong. It's Hulk.
Yeah.
It's Hulk. I was like, well, no, you asked me. He goes, no, it's Hulk.
Yeah.
No matter what I said, he would just interrupt me and go, no, Hulk. Okay, it's Hulk. You win.
Good.
Kid should be a lawyer.
Good boy.
I said to him, you should be a lawyer, but unfortunately, you'll see jail time first.
Get the note from the inside, the legal system.
So you'll be doing the prison search and working in the library. By the way, folks, if you go to my spring or on the bottom of my page here you can see this mug is now available, the Team DL mug, folks. Not only is it a great mug, but boy, it holds my lemon water just right. Anyways, shameless plug. So
I have
anyways,
too. You can go on Zims Guitars and down in any of the videos, we have a link to get a Zims Guitars t-shirt.
excellent. I was just going to
What's
say,
your website?
Dane,
I'll put a link.
let's put it in there.
Zims Guitars on YouTube.
One M or two?
Website. 2M, ZIMMS Guitars. My
Excellent.
last name is Zimmerman. And like now, 7 years ago, I opened a guitar shop and I'm like, what should I name my store? Well, I could, what you're thinking, well, I could put my children's names together and come up with something or what. But then my last name being Zimmerman, guys have called me Zim, through the years, occasionally
Right.
bandmates or whoever.
Here's your
So I
Instagram
Googled
that I
Zims
just followed.
Guitars one day. Nothing came up in the
Here's
world.
the YouTube.
Right.
Put his Facebook up there too.
I don't know if he wants that, so I didn't.
Oh, your whole life, people called you Zim because they were really creative. Like, I mean, every course your name is Zim because it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a personal Facebook. It's a Zims Guitars Facebook.
On YouTube.
Then put it up if you see the link.
Yeah. I just.
All right. So, everybody, Joe just posted his Instagram for Zims Guitars.
Yeah.
There's Zims YouTube. So
Wait,
everyone
let me
can
hold
follow.
on, I got one more. Where's
His
Zim's
first name
Pornhub?
is Dane. You don't mind me
Are you
telling
Zim
you?
on
Zim's
Pornhub
Pornhub.
as well?
Yeah, you have a Pornhub thing, right? There's something with stepmoms. Let's put that up there.
Zim got stuck.
So he got stuck
He was changing the pick guard and he got stuck.
He got stuck in the dryer.
We were talking superheroes earlier. Mine was Tracy Lords growing up. So.
God, you brought
You
back
know what's
that
weird
horrible
about people?
joke.
When you have a short name
No,
like
he was
Dane,
talking about Pornhub. So.
Oh. All right, these
I'm
jokes
just
need to be
saying,
cleared by
when-
my producer. Yeah.
when you have
on.
a short
Who's the
name like
producer?
Dane, right? Or Dave,
Yeah.
people want to give you a nickname or they make it longer, like Dano or the Danester or
Daverino.
Dainty yeah. When you have a long name, they want to shorten it,
Right. Well, people just usually call me DL, my initials.
That's too
It's
long.
just and
D.
because Dave is too difficult to pronounce.
My high school yearbook said Dave Zimmerman.
Oh, really?
So it's been one of those kind of names where it's a little bit tough. You have to repeat yourself. People are like, hey, Dave, Dane. Okay, Dave, what'd you say? Dane. Oh, like Great Dane, like a dog. Oh, okay. So
then you
gotta
heard
kinda
Dane
repeat
Cook's
your
comedy and you were
name.
like, you know what? It's Dave.
And then finally I got a little bit of help as far as making the name Dane a little bit more recognizable was when the comedian Dane Cook came out and started making movies and was somewhat successful. So having a Dane Cook
For whatever
in the world,
reason.
Right.
yeah. You know what's weird about Dane Cook though is 2 or 3 weeks ago when I went over and played at the Whiskey in LA, right there at the Comedy Store, the headliner was Dane Cook.
Right.
So believe it or not, he's not making movies or anything anymore, but he's still going out and doing his.
Well, my
stand-up.
favorite.
Here's a little
role-
anecdote. I've played the Comedy Store. I've done the Comedy Store maybe 3 or 4 times. And by the reaction of my jokes tonight, you can see why that failed. Nothing? Still? No?
Yeah, my favorite Dane Cook role was in Mr. Brooks because he got a shovel across the throat from Kevin Costner. Another one that I don't really care for.
Yeah. Next time, bring up a movie people saw.
I didn't even know what he was talking
I have no
about.
idea what he's talking about. That's why
Why
I
you
say.
don't know Mr. Brooks? The serial killer.
No.
No.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's not that.
I've
good.
never had the opportunity to do like stand up where you get to go do 5 or 10 minutes. But there's
yeah.
plenty of times where I've been standing on stage and the guitar player's tuning or the drummer's throne broke or whatever. And so you got a minute. And so I'll tell a joke. And I usually just go to the Rodney Dangerfield jokes and I give one of those up really quick.
I'd
You
tell you
know,
that
that
easy,
usually
I'd tell
gets a
you.
good laugh.
Oh, yeah. Well, Rodney was the best. There's no better album. In fact, 1980, No Respect. The album's the greatest. This is my moment when history calls me. Yeah, it's great. It is great. And then while he steps away, let's discuss Mr. Brooks. No, I'm kidding. Let's not. Mr. Brooks, I have no idea what that movie is. In fact, I don't know if I've ever seen a Dane Cook movie.
I didn't even know he was in movies. Oh,
No,
I know the
you
guy was huge at one point and then like literally just vanished.
Yeah.
probably have. He just pops up in movies left and right. It's like,
Al Chervik, Andy Dion, the greatest. Tell you it ain't easy, I tell you.
someone sit on a
Hey,
duck.
Smales, $50 your slice. That's great. Really good stuff. Rodney was great in that movie. I was talking to a friend of
Plus the
mine.
production tone.
I was talking to a friend of mine. We were talking about Paulie Walnuts dying, and she said she's never seen The Sopranos. I think she said she watched a few episodes, but so I urged her to start watch the whole series because I do think it's better than Breaking Bad. And has anyone been watching Better Call Saul?
Nah.
Oh, that conversation ended quickly. But anyways, The Sopranos. Have you seen The Sopranos, Dane? If you watch the whole series?
No, I don't, man. I really have no interest in the gangster kind of mafia.
But it's not really a gangster type story. It's much more about the guys. It's different. It's really good. I find I think it's really good because I don't think it doesn't really focus so much on like the gangster as much as it is these personalities that are involved in their families, and it's really good. I mean, I think it's
right.
I think it's great. Gandolfini was great in it. Nancy Marchand, the first 2 seasons, was great in it. Vinny Pastore was. I mean, the whole cast, everyone was really great.
The last 2 things that I watched on like Hulu. So probably about 3 or 4 months ago, I watched Pam and Tommy, or the Pamela Tommy Lee thing on Hulu where the sex tape and all that came out, and it really made Pamela look like a sweet little angel. It really did. Yeah,
Well,
there's a Netflix show and it's called
Oh, I'm sure she was. It's just that she screwed everyone.
Yeah, and then they made a videotape and it got out to the world, and the story was the whole Netflix series was about it was on Hulu. It was about the sex tape getting out to the world, and the guy at Hustler buying it from them, and it was going out into the world for free, where you could log on to sites and see that shit for free. And Tommy was just being Tommy, and don't worry about it, babe, and it made her really pissed off, and that was really good. I enjoyed watching that, and it kind of gave you a look at Motley Crue in the 1990s when their Generation Swine CD was out. Nobody really liked them anymore, so and the guy that played Tommy Lee, he did a great job. The guy that played Pamela did a great job.
The guy that played
Pamela. It could have been a guy.
Well, we are in.
They're really being inclusive at Hulu, aren't they?
Yeah. And then I've been watching the Steve Martin and Martin Short thing with Selena Gomez, and it's called Murders Only in the Building or something. It's a little Steve Martin thing about it's murder mystery stuff. They're doing a murder podcast.
Oh, okay.
A couple of people have been murdered.
No idea of any of this stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, if somebody said to me, "Hey, on Hulu, there's a thing about the Pamela and Tommy Lee video," I'd be like, "Yeah." I'm watching Pornhub right now, and there's a serious issue going on where there's a stepmom stuck in the dryer. I have not the time to see Tommy Lee. No, there's
a scene in it where Tommy Lee he meets Pamela. They have sex for like 3 days in a row, and he's having a conversation with his penis about, I'm going to marry this. And he's looking at his dick, and the dick's going, don't do it, man.
That doesn't surprise me. He's not the sharpest tack in the shed.
It's a movie.
I didn't really see anything.
I would believe it, though.
That's unfortunate. Yeah. What else? Joe, what have you been watching?
Let's see. The Boys.
That's what I was going to say.
Unbelievable. This was the best season so far, and every season's been amazing.
Now, what's that on?
That's on Prime Video.
Okay.
Let's see, Stranger Things, season 4.
Okay. Now, is that the show that uses the running up that hill?
Yes. Yeah, and they just in the season finale they use Master of Puppets
Okay.
So you have all that kind of controversy going on now where quote unquote Metallica fans made us idiots of themselves. They said, well, we're sorry, Metallica, for all these fans who were coming because of Stranger Things. And Metallica's like, don't be sorry.
They don't care.
They don't care. Yeah, exactly.
Ka-ching.
If that's what gets someone
exposed,
into a band, who the fuck cares? These gatekeepers. So who the fuck sets you up as a gatekeeper? STFU, motherfucker.
That's why Kate Bush wasn't anywhere in anyone's mind. Right. I mean, it's 35 years ago when that album came out. Now that came on. Now I think it's like number 7 on the Billboard Top 100.
It went to number 1. Did you see a single Kate Bush fan saying, well, we're sorry, Kate, for all these fans that are coming from
she's thrilled as hell. Just like Stevie Nicks was when
the whole point is exposure. Like I said to somebody the other day, I was talking about the
Who. Stupid. I'm a metal fan, but some of them are like, what?
I was talking to a student about the Who, and she was like, I don't even know who they are. And so I said, you ever watch CSI? Oh, I've seen it before. I go, you know the intro theme? I go, oh, that's cool. But it's exposure. What are you going to do? Years go by. People have no fucking idea who the hell Metallica is or who. Yeah. And Kate Bush's career went by most people. Right. I love the Hounds of Love album. I love Never Forever. There was a great album with Babushka. I loved her whole. I loved her. What's that?
She was on So with Peter Gabriel.
Well, she's saying "Don't Give Up," but I loved her. The song "This Woman's Work," which was in the film She's Having a Baby, and Maxwell does an unbelievable cover of it. And most people wouldn't know who Maxwell is, but Maxwell Urban Hang Suite, the first Maxwell album, is probably one of the best R&B records, in my opinion, of all time. It's fantastic.
What I find funny is that a lot of these songs, right, they get these young people hear it for the first time on here, and they're all old songs, and subconsciously they're saying, wow, this is a great song, and so they want to buy it and it goes up the charts. But you would think they would say, geez, I'd want to explore more of that stuff, but no, it has to get fed to them. It's like they won't go exploring in that era. They'll just have it.
I don't know. I can't speak for people. What do you mean? I don't even see.
No. I mean, it shows. I mean, like the only time these old songs come up and get popular and stuff is when it gets fed to them on TV. I mean, it's like, and then they don't go on top of that and then do like we used to do. Like we'd hear one song from an era. Oh, that's from the 60s. And we go,
yeah, but we used to do it. But I don't think if you take the average person that's not a musician, they never did that. They never did that. People never did that. We did because we're a select group of idiots. We're musicians, and we were like, who's that? We got to find everything that person did.
I think our generation did a little more, even if they weren't musicians.
You ask a girl.
Our generation, that was a big thing for us. That's all
for us, because we're musicians. But I'm saying if you said to a girl back in 1983, and she says, oh, I like that song by so-and-so. They also do this, this, and this. They'd be like, oh, they do? They would have no idea because they didn't go searching who the band was. They liked the one song. That's all they cared about. They're not spending their time going down a rabbit hole because they thirst for music. They just hear what they like, and they're like, all right, what's next? Oh, the Hustle's on? I like Van McCoy.
I mean, they would at least look at the rest of the songs on the album the song came.
Who would? I don't think they would. They would buy the 45. That's why they're called singles.
45s are more like in the late 70s, early 80s and stuff. But then the album started taking off.
And they had singles.
Singles, which kind of worked.
Yeah. I agree. See, Andy says the same thing. I agree. I think that most people, they just hear the song and they're like, I like that song. And you tell them who the artist is, they're like, okay. You say to a kid, do you know the song Iron Man? Every kid knows the song Iron Man because the movie Iron Man. But then go ask him if he knows Sweet Leaf. He's going to go, what? I don't know that song. Who's that? And they don't. But if the kid's a musician, he's 13 and he's a musician, he's going to know every song. Because
but when I was a kid, before I was a musician, I would hear something in a movie, and then it's on that album. So I'd get the album and I'd find that. And this
you had the bug. You had the bug. You didn't know you were going to be a musician, but you had the bug. That's what I'm saying. It's most people. That's what most people don't go hunting it down. They don't care. You know what I mean? Like you, when you go on Pornhub, you're like, oh, that's Autumn Falls. Let me go find every video Autumn Falls is in. Most people are like, just give me the next video. Thank you. Folks, I've been giving you nothing but A material tonight. I'm getting no love whatsoever. This has been a travesty. I'm throwing out names like Autumn Falls. I'm getting dead silence.
I actually have.
I don't even know if she's still in the business. I'm just throwing out a name.
That's one that not many people would recognize that name.
Right. I was trying to do that. I got to throw the obscure out. If I threw out 1980s Barbara Deer, there'd be too many people going, I remember her.
Goodness, Barbara Deer.
Barbara Deer. Oh, yeah. And Guitar Hero's another thing. Oh, man. How good is Megadeth? I heard. What I
want $1. I want $1 for every scene that Barbara Deer filmed with John Doe.
Oh, John Doe.
Right? Yeah, John Doe killed himself.
Yeah. My favorite porn name of ever was a guy who called himself Frank Ballpark.
Was there?
There was a guy, Frank Ballpark.
My goodness.
Fucking hilarious. I guess his license would say Ballpark Frank. Still a classic.
Never heard that one. Oh my God.
That's real. I don't even have to make this stuff up.
Hey, I'm searching it right now. I got to see that for myself.
Oh, careful with that search there, buddy. You may come across some sketchy material.
Sketchy material. He's going to come across every supermarket saying they got the all kosher Ballpark Franks.
But yeah, he actually called himself Ballpark Frank. Oh my goodness, I don't need to see that.
Hilarious.
So I just had a phone call, and it was a guy in San Antonio, Texas. And he's like, do you still have that Flying V that you did a YouTube video on? And I'm like, what was the upload date when I did that video? And he goes, oh, it was February of this year. And I'm like, dude, that thing is so long gone. I can't even remember that guitar.
Oh, that's funny.
So I have to put that in when I'm sort of doing like a restring type of commercial video where I'm restringing a guitar, and I'll say, hey, this one is available. You know, I'll either say, hey, this is a customer's guitar that I'm just restringing, and I got his permission to make a video, or if it's a guitar that I'm restringing that I'm trying to sell, I said, hey guys, now if you're going to call me on this, you know, take a good look at when this video was published. And if it's, don't call me in 3 years from now on this
let
video.
me ask you a question. Was that the Ibanez Pro Line V?
No, he said it was an Epiphone.
Okay, well, yeah, because you have an Ibanez Pro Line V from 1985. That's from March 2020.
That blue one. Yeah, it was a blue one, wasn't it?
Epiphone Flying V from 4 months ago.
Yeah, that's the one he just called me
I'm going to
about.
put the link. I'm going to put the link in case anyone wants to see what you're talking about.
Yeah, everybody call me up and I'll say, dude, come on, man.
I get comments on my channel from like 4 years ago. They're like, dude, how are you fingering that D major 7 chord? And I'm like, what am I going to watch this fucking video now? I hit love, thumbs up, next. You think I'm going to answer this question? People ask me the most, like, or you made some good points, but I disagree with your third. I'm like, what the fuck is this idiot talking
Or
about?
they'll put the timestamp at 12 minutes and 42 seconds. You
Yeah,
said
like I'm
this.
supposed to remember. First of all, I'm not watching any old videos, folks. I don't find any of this entertaining, just so everybody knows. Not one. I don't know why any of you guys are here. This is not entertainment, but I appreciate you being here. You're bored. Pornhub is on. You've used too much. You're going through tissues like that's crazy. Whatever it is. I'm just saying, I'm not going back and watching these shows. Even my lessons, because someone's like, I'll only go watch it if I have to learn this song. Otherwise, someone's commenting like, oh, can you show me how you played what? I did that 4 years ago. I have no idea what the hell I was even playing. Do I even own the guitar that's in that video? Get out of here.
Yeah, it's funny how fast times, times change very quickly. And the stuff that I should remember, like a guitar I did a video on, I don't remember.
Excellent. Ricky Compton, thank you for the compliment. I also get people that and I did a story today on Facebook about it. You know, I have this tattoo, and I get people that'll comment, that tattoo's the worst. You look like an idiot. Ah, great comment. Love, thumbs up. Next.
Pin it to the top.
Yeah, you are a winner. Let me tell you who likes it. Your mom. Thank you very much, folks. I'm here all week. I bought a Line 6 Variax just to play this. Oh, to do it again. I got to tell you, I have no interest in buying a guitar unless it is the Coral Sitar. I do want to buy one of those just so I can sit and play You Make Me Feel Brand New. Wow. Wow. Now
I had a Dane
wow.
Electro version of one of those things in here the other day.
That's what I want.
Month.
You call me.
There's another brand making those now.
Yeah.
There's another brand making those now.
Yeah, but they're charging an arm and an ass. When the Dan Electros
I
came
had
out,
a
they were like
Dan
400.
Electro version. Yeah, they're for like $400.
Yeah, $400.
Yeah, it's like
No, well,
I
no,
think
that's not new. The new ones they want like $1,000.
I didn't think this was a expensive one.
You make me feel. Also, they used it in the bow now, wow, wow, wow now. Every time you go, there's a sitar in that song.
Yeah.
All the
Listen
best
to the
songs
Flower
have it.
People.
That must be the theme to the movie Mr. Brooks.
Come on, you don't know that one?
No.
Listen
Spinal
to the
Tap.
Oh,
Flower
you
People. Spinal Tap.
got a 12-string, Dan. I have a 12-string
To
guild.
what the flower people say.
Oh, you know that song? I don't know what it is.
Oh, I'm huge.
Yeah, sitar solo on it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You've never watched Spinal Tap?
I watched some of it. I don't know if it's me. I just didn't find those guys funny.
It's you.
The first
it is
two
me.
times
Okay.
I didn't, but the more I watched it, it's funny in that a lot of this shit actually happened to people.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
actually, I've watched it back when it came out and I enjoyed it. But watching it back, it didn't age well for me. Mr. Brooks is a cool movie. I'll have to check it out. But
I
Dane
have
Cook's in
a
it, so I
Spinal
won't.
Tap story.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know how they had the Stonehenge thing, okay?
Yes.
I asked my son to order some bumper stickers for me. So he ordered a whole bunch and he's like, Dad, they were only like $8 for like 100 of them. I'm like, wow, that's a great deal. So we get our bumper stickers and they come in the mail and I open one up and there it is.
That's outstanding.
Look how
There you
little
go.
this thing is.
That's
I would put that
unbelievable.
on my guitar. I would put that on my guitar.
Looks like a cigar wrapper.
Mail one of
Yeah.
those to me.
I love
Put
it.
that on my Schecter.
Yeah.
That'd go
So
on like
that's
one of those mini
that's our
cars.
Spinal Tap moment right there. So instead of 4 inches by 3 inches or whatever, we had 1 inch by 4 centimeters or something. Oh, that's actually 2 of
Right.
them. Yeah.
There was 2 there.
That's our Stonehenge.
Wow.
Once in a while, I'll stick one of these, though. They are kind of coming in handy. If I get like a weird parts caster or something, or if I put something together, I'll put one of these little stickers on the back of the headstock.
Nice.
Yeah, so they do kind of serve a purpose, sort of.
Wasn't a complete waste.
Yeah. But here's
Now, the
my,
guys that did Spinal Tap, I know it's Christopher Guest. What was the other? They did like Best in Show. All those I liked. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so.
That's the size it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Those look good.
I hand them out to people.
Now, Zim, we talked a little bit about on your show, but what is your like go-to, like the band you got into that you like really took you on a journey to play guitar? And if you
Well,
say
like
the
I
Ramones,
said the
you're
other
getting
day, the first
ejected.
record that I ever bought, I think with my own money in like 1974 or something like that, was Elton John's Greatest Hits. I bought that.
You didn't realize he
record,
plays
then
piano.
I remember buying America's Greatest Hits. And then I remember buying Chicago's Greatest Hits, because if I could
Oh,
pull
that's a good
$5 together, I would buy their Greatest Hits album.
Sure.
I remember I got the Eagles' Greatest Hits. So, and then I got Frampton Comes Alive. So I don't know. I kind of think Frampton was one of my first sort of guitar heroes, but I was into everything. My older brother would bring home Alice Cooper. Yeah, that one right there. My older brother would bring home the Alice Cooper and Black Sabbath and Uriah Heep, and so I got to hear all that stuff. So it's
to me,
hard
it's so
for me
funny
to
that
pin
you lump
something
those together, because Alice Cooper, to me, especially before like 74, 75, was just rock. I never found any of that really heavy. You know, like School's Out isn't really a heavy song. 18,
That's
No.
like hard
Elected,
rock.
Hello, Hooray, Be My Lover, Desperado.
School's Out.
Yeah, it really
But
didn't.
Dave-
He didn't get heavy until he got into the 80s, when people were like, well, he looks like a monster. I mean, because you think about You and Me in 1977 on the Lace and Whiskey album. You and me ain't no superstar. I mean, that's about as heavy
Great
as Hard
song.
Luck Woman.
Yeah.
Dan Electro Baby Sitar, $5.99. It's on back order right now.
Hugh, let me just say that Hugh says he's talking about Joe Dolce. He loves Shut Up Your Face. Hugh, let me just say this. I heard you're asking how I'm feeling. I guess I take it day by day. A little 38 special for you folks.
Oh, you
Thanks,
belong.
Johnny Kramer. No, but I never found Alice Cooper. In fact, if I hear the live version of Feed My Frankenstein one more time, it's on every day on Sirius Radio. And they play the live version. It's like, I'm sure they took a long time to get that band to sound tight in the studio, but live, it's a mess. And thanks, Sirius, for playing me this version. The guitar player's rushing the drums. It's like, it just sounds like a disaster. I'm listening to it thinking I'm in a band practice. I'm like, I got to turn this off. Just not happening for me. Hey, has Dane heard of the Blue Nile? I can guarantee that's a no. This is a poster
I've heard
for the
of that
Blue Nile.
band. It's a band, right? The Blue Nile. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
out
heard
of Glasgow,
because
Scotland.
I did, you go through certain friends that introduce you to different genres of music. So again, I had my older brother, and then of course I was in the 80s. I was the big hair metal Scorpions kid and everything. But then in the late 1990s, after I got divorced, I was with a punk rock girl for 5 years, and she wouldn't let me listen to Van Halen and shit like that. She hated that kind of stuff. David Lee Roth going, all I need is a beautiful girl. She'd freaking rip the fucking turntable off the counter and everything. She hated that
She
stuff.
sounds like a blast.
She was fun, man.
Right.
So I listened to a lot of punk rocks. That's when I got introduced to, everything from Black Flag to the Descendants and Social D and all that kind of stuff. So
Wow.
I went
So
through
she
a
ruined
punk
you.
rock phase. Yeah, but I listened to some punk rocks at times, and it
Every
brings
day,
me
Cheech.
back to that time. I was with her for like 5 years, and I played in a punk rock band with her, and she was the drummer, and I was the lead guitar player, and we used to go out and play shows. We opened up for Agent Orange one time, and we did some fun stuff. And
Nice.
so
Let me
then
just
after
comment on
she
the
left-
comments real quick. Cheech, if you
Okay.
follow my Instagram, you would see I post from like the gym almost every other day. But yes, I'm still in the gym every day. Folks, you can follow my Instagram. It is Instagram, whatever.com, Dave_Levine. But just follow it. You'll see I post all the time there to talk about stuff that's going on. That way you don't have to ask me personal questions in the middle of a show that are just really, nothing to do with what we're talking about. And so you mentioned the Scorpions in the 80s. Were you a 70s Scorpions guy?
No, man, I was more. It started with pretty much Blackout in like '83.
Of course.
Yeah,
Although I'm sure you like the song The Zoo,
yeah, that was
which
kind
was
of
on
a
Animal
sleeper,
Magnetism.
but yeah, it's good. I mean, back in those days, we had
That's all
our
right,
car
Cheech.
stereos, and we would cruise. My friend had a '72 Chevelle and full freaking power booster in the car, and so we'd put Animal Magnetism,
That
the
Krakow.
cassette tape, crank it to 10. And listen to that kind of stuff and get stoned out of our brains and try to hit on girls and drive around looking for them. And that's what we did, man. We'd listen to Scorps all the time.
So I think the Scorpions, the 70s Scorpions and the 80s Scorpions, from Blackout on, I love the Matthias stuff, but I really love the Uli stuff. In Trance is a great album if you've never listened to it. Virgin Killers is a great album if you never listened to it. Taken by Force is a great album if you never listened to it. And I think Fly to the Rainbow is a fantastic record. Although I know a lot of people that don't like it. I really like that record. I feel it's the groundwork for Iron Maiden. But I think they're great records. They're just different style bands, but you still have Klaus Meine, he's a woman, with his German accent, mispronouncing every word, which is
woman.
He's a woman, she's a man.
I actually played bass for about a year in a Scorpions tribute band. So I got to be Francis in the Scorpions band. I was a bass player. And when we would play the zoo, I'd be like, oh, this is a sleeper.
Oh, yeah, Pedal E.
We played Love Drive was super fun to play on bass. The problem is I only lasted about a year in the Scorps tribute because I ended up quitting because we tuned a whole full step down. So we were in D.
Okay.
And my singer still couldn't. The singer we had still couldn't really. There's no one like you. He still couldn't really pull it off. So it's all about the singer. Doesn't matter how great the rest of the band is. If your singer's
got to be on point.
Yeah, if you
should have played in Klaus Meine.
Try to do something else.
Awful. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that other. I used to like Holiday.
That's
Holiday. Yeah.
Sure.
That actually came to prominence when Love at First Thing video came out. That they brought that back, yeah.
Oh, California! I'll tell you my favorite tune by them that for guitar playing is Coming Home. The lead that Matthias plays in Coming Home is so vicious and so
Is that the one where everybody, no lyric content, and they're all on guitars?
No, it's the one that starts off real mellow. It's like, every morning out on stage feels like coming home again. And then it's bang, dan, 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 dan. Oh, he does.
And if I remember that solo, it's like a cock-wah too.
Oh, it's just explosive. That was Matthias on fire. And then what's funny is I played in a band and they wanted to play Still Loving You. So I learned Still Loving You, and I'm listening and I'm playing like the Matthias stuff. When I had to learn the solo, I'm like, why does this solo just doesn't have the bite that all the leads in the song did? And then I found out Rudolph Schenker played the solo. Yeah. But you can clearly hear it doesn't have any of the timing or it's just not the same guitar player as Matthias.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's just like, it's not, I don't know why they just didn't say Matthias. Just play the fucking
he was never really a solo guitar player anyway.
No, that's the only solo I know he plays. But when you hear in the beginning, when it goes, when he goes, that's Matthias. Of course you can hear, the finesse and the playing, it's in his tone, it's just vicious. Even the tone isn't as good when Rudy plays.
That was my brother's favorite guitar player.
Matthias? Yeah, it's great. This guy's great. Underrated.
We even drove out. I even went out and I was at the US Festival 1983.
San Bernardino.
So
look at you.
All day long watching these bands play, but then it finally got dark outside, and that's when the Scorpions hit the stage. So we finally had the big theater screens or whatever they had on each side of the stage. Back in 1983, they weren't LEDs or anything, but we finally had the big screens and the light show. You could see the lights, and the Scorps were at the top of the game. And
absolutely.
They crushed all the other bands, Van Halen, everybody. They crushed it. I was voting for Van Halen.
I forgot the fucking words, man.
Let's forget about the concert, go across the freeway and get ourselves something to drink. Yeah, Lee Roth was in rare form. Those guys were lit. The band Priest on that was very good at that show.
Priest was
but
good.
When Rob Halford comes out and he's in the gold lame biker cap, no, it wasn't gold lame. It was like black and silver. He may as well come out in a gold lame dress. He looked like what was the you remember that Bedazzler when they used to see the commercials from Ronco, the Bedazzler, take a pair of jeans and put he looks like Glenn Hughes from the Village People got hold of a Bedazzler.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
Later he says,
I just needed to make Joe laugh once. Now my day is complete.
A few years later, he comes out and says, I'm gay, and people are like, I never saw that.
No, but he comes out and he's like, I'm up here in space. I'm looking down. And I'm watching it going, my God, I was 13 years old. I never knew this guy was gay. I always wanted to bang him, but I just couldn't believe it. No, just kidding. It's a joke.
The Vinyls played that show too, right?
Well, the day,
Vinyls.
not the metal day.
That,
The event was
on
4
Metal
days.
Day, they played the US Festival though.
Yeah, but did they do 82 or 83? I thought they did 82.
No, I think it was
If they did 83, they did it on whatever that day was. Oh, and there was a big rivalry too between the Clash and Van Halen, right?
Yeah.
1983.
And the Clash were not.
The,
They were not well received because I think that was the end of the Clash, right? Because Joe Strummer.
I think it was their last show because Joe Strummer was on stage bitching about
The people and being political
or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, we're not in this to make money at doing this and capitalism.
Rest of the guys in
and
the
all
band are
this.
like, what?
Yeah.
yeah, meantime,
You know what
what
that's
kind
like?
of house you have, Joe?
That's like when Fleetwood Mac had Peter Green in the band. Peter Green was like, he started doing LSD and everything, and he said to all it was a 5-man band at that point. I can't remember Jerry. There was a
Peter
Kenny,
Kerwin.
Kerwin was in the band, and then you had, of course, Fleetwood and McVie. And he said to everybody in the band, "What we should do is we should take all the money we make and give it to charity." And everybody in the band was like, "Okay, that sounds good." Mick Fleetwood was like, "Are you out of your fucking minds?"
Yeah.
And that ended that. Shortly after, Peter Green never made it to another rehearsal. But seriously, that was his idea.
Andy
And
Kerwin.
Mick,
Yeah, correct.
and Mick Fleetwood was like, and then they replaced him with Bob Welch.
Lance Kerwin.
Oh, Bob Welch
Lance
was
Kerwin.
awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I love "You Got Me Hypnotized" was a great song by Fleetwood Mac with
Okay.
Bob Welch. They also in '72 did the first version of "Sentimental Lady," and then the final version was the big hit.
Yeah.
Ebony
What's
Eyes.
that? Ebony Eyes,
Your
right?
eyes got me dreaming.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, what a great song. He ended up committing suicide
Yeah, well, he was in
just a
pain.
few years
He
ago.
had some injuries or something like that. He had a lot
No,
of
I think
Who
he was
did?
Bob Welch.
Bob Welch? He was a Phoenix guy for a while, and I could go down and see him at the bars back in the late '80s or the early '90s. He took a bunch of local guys that were just in local bands around here, and he put a band together with these guys that were like in their 20s, and he was like 45, and we could go down to the bar and get into for free and see them. And I kept waiting for, Your Eyes or something, but he wouldn't play the old
I think it's called
song.
Ebony Eyes, isn't it? Ebony Eyes.
Yeah, Ebony Eyes.
Your
And he
eyes
wouldn't
got
play
me-
that. And they tried, but he looked like a really old guy in a young band, and it was the '80s, and we're like, what?
Well, he's lucky I didn't see him, because if I went to his show and he didn't play Ebony Eyes, I'd kill him.
I know, right?
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, so he had spinal surgery 3 months prior to his death. He was in pain and ended up ending it.
What was it?
He had spinal surgery 3 months prior to his death.
Right.
And the prognosis for recovery was poor. He would eventually become an invalid, considerable pain.
An
despite
invalid?
taking medication. Yeah. Invalid, yeah. So that's how you spell that. I've heard invalid before. It's like I've never seen it spelled out before in all my years of vocabulary.
Excellent. Well, all right. Well, yeah, I knew he was like either in pain or he was like or I knew he was dying, something to that effect. Same type of thing with Keith Emerson, right? Keith had the carpal tunnel, but he was told he would never be able to play again.
Yep.
He said, "Will I ever be able to play violin again?" They said no. He goes, "Well, I couldn't before anyways."
It becomes so important to these musicians that have done this. It's the only thing they know. They've done it their whole life, and when they suddenly realize they can't do it anymore, they're like, "Well, what?"
Yeah,
the
but you
fuck?
figured, hey, listen, Keith, maybe retire. You got some money in the bank. I don't know.
There had to be more to that than just that. I mean, it's like
No, he went to a depression because of it. He was booked on a tour. I don't know what was going on with Keith, but Keith used to come into my shop all the time, and I actually was friendly with him. He was a very nice guy. I got to meet a lot of like aged, if you would say, musicians that most people wouldn't care about, but I was thrilled to meet and he actually was my neighbor. He lived in a building right next door to me. Now I have Moses.
Bent Tom is in the chat asking about Mancuda and that
Hey,
whole
Ben Tom.
that whole thing that went
Tom, what's
down on
happening,
the
man?
Johnny Bean channel, where those two guys were literally fighting with each other live. And I'm like, well, guys, we should probably, if you guys got an argument, you should do it off the air. And Johnny Bean's like, no, I want to do it right now. But John Mancuda is going to he's going to make an announcement soon enough. I'm not really supposed to say anything, but I have talked to John, and he's gonna start his own channel. He's not going to go back on the Johnny Bean show, from what I know. I could be wrong.
All right.
But I think he's just going to start his own channel and carry on.
Interesting. Yeah, I have to tell you. So when I watch YouTube, people discussing guitars, usually to me isn't very, I don't know. I'm not my thing so much. Like I like talking music because I feel like the music is far more important. You know what I mean? Than people talking like, "Here's my guitar." Great, that's beautiful. I like it. But it's like, to me, like if Joe showed me his guitar, Joe's going to show me a guitar. Joe may have that thing must play the way he likes. He digs it. But I look at it, I'm looking at it, I go, that's a guitar. But it's different, you know what I mean? Because when it's yours and you play it, it's, you kind of get a little bit of a, it's a thing. I don't think it translates so much
for the latest, greatest guitar that's come out. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I really want to experiment with one of those. For some reason, it was the John Mayer PRS 2 years ago. I'm like, oh my God,
the Silver Sky.
Try one of those. Yeah, I got to try one of those.
A Strat.
The pickups in those.
I got my hands on one, and then I traded it away for like 3 guitars in an effort to try to make like a $400 profit or something. Probably should have just kept it. I even had the actual silver one that was really neat. And then I was like, okay, well, the new PRS SEs made in Indonesia ones are out now. I've got to get my hands on one of those, and played that thing for a little bit, and it wasn't the same as the first.
I'm having a hard enough time getting my hands on my own guitars.
So now
I can't find the energy to. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I think it's like, I think sometimes when people talk like, pedal stuff, sometimes if there's something interesting that's good, it's really cool. As far as guitars go, like somebody says to me, the new PRSs are out, or the Silver Sky. Yeah, it's a Strat. I played Strats. I'm very picky about which ones I like. Therefore, I don't care. And I have enough. But if you wanted to talk about John Mayer's was it Continuum? What's the name of that album he has?
Continuum.
That's a great record.
That's a great record. He just put out the brand new.
No. This is years ago. It had Gravity on it. And
did you listen to any of last year's record that John Mayer put out?
No, John didn't even listen to it, from what I heard.
Because of the PRS guitar, I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to some of this stuff. So all I really did was watch some YouTube videos on stuff. And so he had one called, what was it even called? I don't remember, but it's straight. The video seems straight out of the 1980s. You're waiting for Phil Collins to walk on stage with him or something. It's such an 80s production.
But right now you're going to be waiting a long time. I don't think he can walk.
And then there was another song on there.
About.
And it's a little acoustic ballad, and it's called "It Shouldn't Matter, But It Does."
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah. The song is called "It Shouldn't Matter, But It Does," and it's just this old love song that he wrote. And he plays a little. John Mayer has his own little signature small body Martin acoustic that he's.
Oh yeah, the JMOM.
Yeah. And but he's got a beautiful song, and believe it or not, in all these years of John Mayer being like, he's like probably one of the youngest guitar heroes in the world, and he's rolling in at 50 years old now, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
he's at least in his 40s
for sure.
But I finally gave it some listens, and I finally do really like that one song that he has out.
Interesting.
I've tried. I can't get into it.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe if you went down to like a C tuning and played through a fuzz, But no, I love blues, but I've tried. I just can't get into it. Maybe someday.
This guitar I told you about last on your show. This is a Mexican black Strat that I completely took all the parts off of. I put a pick guard in. These are DiMarzio Pro 54 Area 58s. And it's a Warmoth neck with a V-neck. And I put a 50s headstock with a big logo on it. And I scallop the upper frets, as you can see, maybe. You can see now. See how they're scalloped in those upper frets?
Now, what's the benefit of scalloping the upper frets?
It's basically let me see if I can find a plectrum anywhere in this room. They're probably all on the floor.
I would say it's basically so that so that the string is not touching anything except the frets. So when you're doing a high string bend and you're bending into it, that string's not rubbing against the body.
For me, it's so I can get under it. Like if I have to do a fast, I'm right under it. I don't have to sit and think about it. It's just right there. So if I'm the high E, I don't have to think. I don't have to sit there and fight with the fret. It's just I'm right under it.
And you're not getting any friction from the actual fretboard, even though it's a glossy fretboard. Which usually, if you're bending your string across that, you don't get any friction from your fretboard.
Well, these are jumbo
just
frets.
Touching the fret. Yeah. So it's just touching the string is only touching the frets. But I mean, you can also, because when you do a string bend or something like that, you can actually bend like the Yngwie Strat. If you press down hard enough on a scalloped fretboard, you just make it go out of tune. Everything will go sharp.
Right. It's not.
You can do it vibrato.
It's only for the high. It's only for the. So I don't have to fight to get under the string. So if I'm playing like I can bend. I don't have to. I can never miss because there's no wood there to fight me and knock me off. It doesn't have that edge. You know what I mean? So I can get right. My thing is it doesn't fight. It's just the fret and the string. So that's why I like it. I do it on all my guitars, and
But now, what do you think about the whole Yngwie neck, where it's scalloped, deep scallop along the whole neck?
Well, he likes
that.
You? I don't. No, you have to think. I like to dig in a little bit.
Weird against your fingers right here too.
Well, I like to dig in. So, and that guitar is not made to dig in. It's made for the light, like that. And I like to dig. So I want something fighting a little bit there. If I'm gonna.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was a digger. He would dig into those strings and play aggressive. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah, I like to
play aggressive.
He was an excavator. He was more than a digger.
Yeah.
He just grabbed onto that neck and strangled it.
He would tear into it.
Vi does it on the. Yeah, I think he does. Vi has the whole fret scalloped.
Yeah.
On the upper frets. My whole fret is not scalloped, Tom. It only goes up to the third string. You can see. Let me get the lighting. There it is. So you can see it only goes up to where the dot is. It's really almost like the way Billy Sheehan's bass is.
Richie Blackmore has it scalloped all on the neck that same way, though, with only half the neck scalloped.
Oh, really? Yeah, because it's nicer on the.
He has all the bottom strings.
That's the Matthias lick in Coming Home. When he goes, killer shit. Yeah, I love him.
Bad Boys Running Wild. We'd do that one.
And
against you got Love Drive, and then you'd have the big hit song. We'd do Blackout.
Big City Nights.
We'd do Another Piece of Meat.
Oh, I love that.
And
so you did a lot of stuff off Animal Magnetism.
We did. We stuck to those couple of albums, and we almost got to where we were going to try to play. What was the one song? It wasn't the she's a woman, he's a man, but it was the other kind of hit that was on that first album.
Robot. That's not the first album. That's Robot Man or In Trance.
No.
Sales of Sharon.
No, it had something to do with. It was called. Can't remember.
Well, if you go real early, it was I'm Going Mad.
It was somebody's name. It had somebody's name. Speedy's.
Oh, Speedy's coming.
Speedy's coming.
That's on the second album, Fly to the Rainbow. Yeah, that's a great one.
We messed with it a couple of times. Never played it live though.
That's on Tokyo Tapes too.
Yeah, but so anyway, so this is the black one that everyone talks about. I bought this. I bought the body for $40 on eBay. The metal pickguard I got from a company in Australia. It's like a brushed metal. It's a DiMarzio Fred and then 258. No, I forget what that is on the two pickups. They were ones I already had. It's a PRS bridge, the man-made bridge, and the fingerboard is an oil finish Wilmoth with a reverse headstock, and I have Fender Stratocaster lasered in.
Nice.
And it's a V-neck, but you know what's funny is this neck's wide. Even though it's 1 3/4, it's wider. I don't know, but yeah.
Are you crazy about how much a guitar weighs? Do you care about the weight of a guitar?
Care. Obviously, I like a little lighter.
There are times you play a long show, and if it's heavy, your shoulder's killing you.
This one, you'll see the scallop in this one too. Let me see if I can get it to show. Can you see that or not? Not really.
You can see the edges. You can see the edges.
Oh yeah.
So that's scalloped up there too. But yeah, and then all these cases of Strats and Tellys.
Did you hear that when the Scorpions? When the Scorps are playing their song where he whistles in it. They've changed some of the lyrics. Yeah, they've actually changed some of the lyrics in that now when they're out playing that live because of Ukraine and the war that's going on and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
They're singing they've had to change a couple of lyrics around.
Andy, I didn't do it. A guy named, I'm sure you might know him, a guy named Wolf in Boston does all the scalloping for me. So yeah, that's who did it. Yeah, he used a file, I would imagine. Hold on, I'm just looking at. That's all Instagram stuff. Oh, and Holt Cigars is still no shipping charges.
Good.
They're doing it for a few more hours. Joe, you also have another Instagram, huh?
Yeah, that was actually my original Instagram. The only reason I keep it is there's like a few people I was friend with when I worked at church.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know that they would accept a friend invite from my new Instagram. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll just leave that.
Right.
Yeah, I saw you sent the thing. I literally haven't posted anything in that in years. It's just.
Well, I noticed you liked or something of mine in it, or I liked or came up as people I might know. And I'm like, I know that guy.
Yeah, it's probably the people you might know.
Yeah, your beard wasn't gray in it.
No, it's. I actually, you reminded me. I still had it, and I updated the photo and some of the bio. But I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna leave this because there's literally like a handful of people, that I follow that accepted my friend request. And you know, people are picky. They're people I knew from church years ago. I don't know if they would accept another one, even though the Instagram that you follow is the happening one, where you can find my, all my delicious keto dishes.
Now,
like that.
Dana, are you familiar with Joe's channel at all? Joe does like a sobriety vlog. Joe, what day are we at right now? Do you know?
Yeah, because I have the tab open. Let me give it a refresh. Today is 406 days later.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, 400.
Awesome.
So it's like a 1 year, 1 month, and who knows how long? Like 2 weeks, a week and
all right,
a half.
guys, talk for a moment. I've got to use the facilities.
Go ahead. So
400 days. 400. How many days?
406.
I'll drink to that.
Good for you,
And
man.
sometimes I still wake up and it feels like I got a hangover, but I think that's also just called getting old, which sucks.
It really does. But I mean, what's the alternative, right?
Yeah, right.
Being younger.
I wish.
You know who came in here the other day, and you guys might remember him, but what's his name? He had a remember when Brian S. and Dave did their the Live Wires show for a little while? Brian and Dave Reese, DR Guitars. Dave came in here on yesterday on Sunday because he lives way up here in town. But yeah, Dave was in here.
I know. Does he still do those late night shows?
No, he doesn't. He renamed his channel and he called it Picks and Paints. So he started painting landscapes and stuff as a hobby. You know, guitars are a hobby, but he started painting landscape pictures and stuff. And so he kind of changed his channel and then was barely getting any views. So now he's like, man, I haven't done any kind of a video in months. So, yeah.
So the R stands for Ross, right? Dave Ross.
Yeah.
The Joy of Painting.
Bob Ross. All right,
Yeah,
let me
I
go
know.
check on Mikey. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Go ahead.
I haven't checked him. It's been an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had to be rushed to the hospital the other night. So it was a fun weekend.
I have a guy in town. He's a friend of mine. His name's Rob, and he paints guitars as a hobby. And he only charges me like $150 to paint a guitar. And so he painted this thing for me and I've had this probably about 3 months now. But it's a BC Rich NJ series. And he put this Nagel graphic on there for me.
Wow.
That's a gunslinger, huh?
No, it's an ST3.
That's considered an ST3?
It is.
I'm used to seeing the other.
We took the pickups out. It had 3 pickups, so we sort of made a gunslinger out of it.
Oh, I
With a
see.
little
one of
Nagel
those.
graphic. Yeah.
I had one of those in the 80s.
Yeah. So
Got stolen. 91, I think.
did it have a Nagel graphic on it?
No, it was all black. And I had a rat.
What about
rat
that?
face sticker on it.
What was the color of that guitar before? Was it that color before or no?
That's a nice looking guitar.
It was a tan sort of.
Oh, okay. So he did the whole thing.
Color.
He did a nice job.
I like the reflection on the paint. The paint kind of changes color with the light.
A lot of glitter. We always do glittery stuff, but just to paint that, I mean.
Yeah.
And he sent me a picture of it before he put the girl's makeup on her, and I'm like, Rob, I know you're used to dating really ugly women, but oh my God, put the makeup back on her, and so.
Hilarious. That's cool.
So I get these kind of things done.
I like it.
Graphic.
Just for
Nice
fun.
graphic.
Something
I
to
love
do.
those BC Rich Strat styles.
Yeah, my phone.
You do?
I gotta go on mute.
Oh yeah.
You know
That
what I
head's-
like? You know what's a cool Strat style guitar? A Strat. Thank you. Does that one have a Floyd on it? It looked like it had some type of.
I didn't look at. I'm gonna guess it was probably a Floyd, or maybe a Goto.
A Goto?
Again,
A Goto Low Pro? You mean a Schaller? Because Schaller made the original Floyd, and then they made the Schaller Floyd of.
You guys
what
were
kind of
talking
trims
about bridges. This one, unfortunately, has what they call the speed loader. So it's where the string just goes into the end right there.
Right. Yeah.
And so you don't have
Doesn't
to take
hold
your
its
Allen
string.
wrench and tighten them and stuff.
But is it locked? Oh, it is locking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's locking. But the rumor is when you do a huge dive bomb, your string is just sort of can float back and forth in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So guys don't like it because of that.
Yeah, it's
So
not as good as the original string
Right.
grab.
licensed by Floyd Rose string. It's
Yeah.
called a speed loader. You just shove the string right here in the end.
Right. I just shove it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine had the Goto, and I remember if I dropped the strings,
The
no matter what I
Goto?
did, yeah, Goto, whatever. anyways, when you drop the strings, no matter what I did, if I tried setting up the nut, tried keeping everything lubed and stuff, the E string would always end up sharp, and I'd have to pull it really quick to get it back into.
This is another he painted for me.
That's cool.
Of course, we're going for the Warren DeMartini thing here, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just guitars that I have laying around. I don't really put price tags on these
Right.
because this body is a Series 10.
Series 10.
Remember Series 10? And then one day I came across a headstock injury, Charvel neck,
Mm-hmm.
and it fit right in the pocket really nice. So, yeah. So it's one of those guitars I probably have $200 into, or
Yeah.
$250.
Good looking
into.
guitar.
It
Not
doesn't have a
locking.
Floyd, it's just got a regular fender.
Yeah, regular
side
trim.
head. Yeah.
Nice paint job.
Yeah, this is, again, he experiments with paint jobs, and he'll do something as a hobby. And so this is where I guess you would paint the guitar red, and then you would put glue over it and let the glue drip down. And then you spray it black, and then and then you wipe the glue off of it like the Elmer's glue, and that's what leaves the red underneath it. So he experiments with different sort of techniques.
Yeah, whatever it is, it looks cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've taken this to
I mean,
the
that could be
blues
cool
jam.
even without the graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I've
the black
taken
and
that
red.
thing to the blues jams before, and people are looking at me like, bro, what's up, man? You're in a
Oh, those blues
jam.
guys
I'm
don't
there.
like pointy guitars.
They don't-
Yeah,
They do
you can
not
take
like
their
pointy
guitars
guitar-
and play metal. Can
And
you
I got a
play
little
metal with the
Franken
Strat?
that
Look
we-
at Gary Moore.
Reverse headstock.
This is my old guitar player in a band I was in for a bit. Put this one, painted this one. It's just
Oh,
a
that's
Squire.
the Invader. That's Duncan Vader right there. Right?
Yeah, but it might be like an imported Chinese version.
Oh, sorry. Hold on, Joe.
But it's just, and my old painter painted this one,
There we go. That's nice.
or my old guitar player.
The other
And
one
then,
was nice.
A friend of mine from Phoenix was importing these necks, and he was calling them SoCal Guitar Works. Oh, and then you can see on some of my parts casters, I put the little stickers on the back.
Yeah.
So the little stickers do sort of serve some sort of a purpose.
They weren't a complete waste.
Yeah.
Interesting. You missed
Have
the
any
other
more?
guitar, Joe.
I like
the red
looking
one
at
was
them.
good.
Those some good graphics.
He's painted these, see the BC Riches up here? So
Oh,
we got
that's
a
a cool one.
green,
Mockingbird.
Mockingbird. And these are all just platinum series,
Nice.
or maybe even
Right.
bronze series. We got a blue bitch.
Yeah.
We got a sort of an
Warlock.
orange and yellow warlock. And down at the end there, we have a virgin.
What is that? Yeah, the one you're pointing at now. What is that?
That one, that's a
Rich
BC Rich virgin in kind of a two-tone sort of a thing. So I just hang weird guitars that my buddy painted around the shop, and I don't put price tags on them. But if somebody comes in and says, oh my God, dude, I'll trade you a Gibson for that thing, I'll say, oh, okay. Because that kind of stuff has happened where somebody just
Interesting.
needs to have some crazy, old
Pointy guitar.
shreddy thing. Yeah.
Right. That Mockingbird's a cool color. He painted that Mockingbird?
Yeah, he's painted all four of those up there.
Nice.
And he's got two guitars right now that he's working on. But I mean, he paints in his mom's garage. And with the heat that's going on right now, I imagine that he turns his swamp cooler on and goes out there at like midnight, probably, and messes around with them. So I don't, and I give him, he kind of freaks out if you tell him, okay, I want white with glitter along the edge and a little red thing. And if you give him
This is gonna
stuff,
take me forever.
yeah, he's like, what? But if you say, hey, man, I'm giving you 100% freedom just to be creative and make it fun for you and do whatever you want that you think looks cool, then he has fun with it that way. So I give
could
him
see
all the
that.
creativity. Yeah. And one time he
But I
brought me
would
in-
say certain colors. Yeah, I don't want pink. I don't want neon colors.
I've got a
Just
pink
do
one.
anything
I
else.
got a
Yeah.
pink one in the back. I got about
That's
5
my
more in
first.
the back.
No,
But
you,
no,
you got to be
I love the
diplomatic.
pink one.
You say, I appreciate you did what was fun. You enjoyed what you did. And I'll do it again and make one that won't make me fucking puke.
I've got pink ones back there. I can show. Let me go grab a bass that he did.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
You like the gamble, Cosmo?
Cosmo, you like
The gamble, Cosmo?
I watch. You know what my favorite lately has been? The Briss. Oh,
There was a
did you have to-
marathon on Saturday.
when he says, "Did you have to put the glass so close to the edge? You had the whole table to put the glass. You had to put it right on the edge. What's going to happen is the glass is going to fall off. It's going to break." Oh, and he starts yelling at Elaine about that. I cry. Oh, that's cool.
A Warlock bass,
Oh, that's nice. But that's nice.
It's a Mockingbird bass.
Platinum series. Yep, that's made in Korea, circa 1987, probably.
No,
Late
I don't
80s.
know. Maybe late 90s even. Could even
Late
be
90s,
early 2000s, but I don't know for sure. But the reason that I had this one painted is because we did a show for breast cancer awareness. And so all the guys in the band were supposed to dress in pink and stuff like that. And everybody was wearing pink bandanas and everything. So I'm like, bro, paint me a guitar. And so this was last October. So I've had this thing laying around and it's pink. And it's kind of cool that the pickups were, this guitar started out black. It's kind of cool that the pickups are white and they started that way. And so for a breast cancer awareness show, it was freaking epic. And I just put brand new strings on it like the day before the gig. And there was the stage was backlined. And dudes were coming up to me going, dude, that's the sickest fucking bass sound I've ever heard. That sounds great. And I think it was just because I was playing through a backlined Ampeg and I had just brand new strings on it. You put brand new strings on anything and you're going to have a great tone.
Now, hold on. Jameson used to, you know anything about James Jameson there? The bass player, he would always use the oldest strings.
Oh.
He wanted them as dead as possible on those old Motown records.
Totally different style, though. But
I thought he was playing Motown. You're not playing Motown?
I've even heard that, what's his name? Taylor from Duran Duran loves
John
his strings
Taylor.
old and dead.
I played with John.
Roger Taylor.
John
Taylor.
John,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
wants
Roger
his
was the
stuff old and
drummer.
dead. Now,
and
just
Roger wasn't
anybody-
related to two brothers either.
If
It's like
anybody in the
Andy
chat
and-
does get a wild hair
I don't
up
think
their
Andy and
ass,
John were brothers either.
I thought Andy and John were.
I don't think so.
but if anybody does have a wild hair up their ass to buy this guitar, it is on Reverb right now for $800.
Folks, let's start the bidding at 800.
You can try to talk me down if you want. It's crazy what Reverb is doing nowadays, right? Some of the
I-
prices on there.
Yeah, I stopped using Reverb. Yeah, I thought so too. I don't think there are any of them are brothers in Duran Duran.
I always thought the guitarist and bass
No.
player were brothers. Yeah, my mistake. Well, three people named Taylor and none of them are related.
Yeah. Well, they're in England. Everyone's name's Taylor. I was kidding. How many Le Bons were in the band? We had Simon Le Bon, what, Nick Rhodes?
Cucarulos.
Well, he came in later.
Yeah,
I'm going to play the Seinfeld theme. Guys, we're going to have another guest pop in real quick.
Excellent.
This
Yes.
is Jerry.
Nope.
Hey,
Hey, Jerry, good to see you again.
how was everyone this evening?
Good, Jerry. This is Dane.
I saw this dude on, what was that, Guitar What, the other day.
Zims, that's his show.
Yeah. I saw him on that. It was cool. Good stories.
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Yes. Enjoyed it. Right in the store, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I sit here in my store and guys, sometimes they'll say, hey, let's live stream late at night. I'm like, no, I have to do it during the day when I'm at the store.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, let me ask you a question. I know you're in your basement right now. How do you keep the girl in the well so quiet during when you go live?
Simple. She's dead.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That would be okay. There we go. Answered. Question is answered, folks.
Yeah.
Well, she ain't been fat.
Mild mannered. Remember that. The criteria.
Now, did you see the paint jobs this guy's buddy did? I'd be sending those guitars out there to Arizona if I were you.
Oh, instead of doing it myself?
Yeah, what are you going to do it yourself for? I keep telling you.
Well, you know.
Now, let's see. Now, you got a guitar behind you that looks like is that freshly painted? Is that a body that's without a neck?
So.
That looks like it's going to be, what's that blue called? Lake Placid blue?
It's actually, it's going to ultimately be, see the ocean turquoise one in the back?
Yeah.
I should just grab the fucking thing. Hold on a second.
You came ill prepared. Let's just call a spade a spade. You came ill prepared, Jerry. Right. I know that guitar. What do you call that color? Ocean mist? I call it green.
It's ocean turquoise. Well, it's
my people call it maize. You call it corn. My people call it maize.
It's a cool color. So anyways, I'm going to build an homage to this guitar with that blue in the background. But it'll be like NOS. This is obviously dog-eared.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Nice. What neck are you putting on it?
The usual. The bound fat.
No, but where are you getting it?
Guy out west.
Well, give a plug to the guy, will you? I know it's not Warmouth.
Well, you know, all right. So there's a guy, JP Guitars, and he's in where's Warmouth? Palaep or something like that?
Yeah, in Washington.
Palaep, Washington. He's a former employee of Warmouth.
Okay.
And the guy's been on his own for like 30 years or whatever. But he does nice stuff. He usually builds like Les Paul type stuff, but he made some necks for me.
Look, these guys know you. It's the gentleman's cut.
Yeah. And then the guy at Hutala Guitars in Canada, he made the last couple of necks. But he's like a Chevelle guy.
Right.
So, but, you know, they're accommodating, so it's cool, you know.
What was that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Sound like a bong hit.
Someone tearing out outside my window. I hit the
Oh.
Now, so you're gonna put one of those big. What's the neck gonna be on? A big fat 1-inch neck?
I ordered a neck from who are those guys? Musicraft in Jersey. You know those guys.
I thought you just told me it was some guy in the East Coast.
No. Most recently is Musicraft. I ordered a neck that's the wide heel, you know, 2 1/4 here.
Right.
And then this is 1 11/16.
Okay.
They didn't do a 43 millimeter, but whatever. That's what I would have preferred.
Yeah, you know I like it. I like 1 3/4.
I know you do, but I don't know if I wouldn't throw it out of bed, but
right.
You know, I like the back to be, you know, the big D.
Right.
You know what I mean? The back
you like the
out.
big shoulder.
I guess so. Yeah. It feels good. It's like an old
shoe.
No, like you ever handle like an
I'll
old
fill in every word. What?
Like an old mandolin, like a Gibson from like 1935 or something.
Yeah, but those
it's
necks are
like an egg shaped back. It's like really a tall profile for how small it is.
Right.
But it fills up your hand nicely and
sure.
You know, yeah, just that vintage shit's cool, man. I like it. That's where it all came from. That heavier, you get a little extra all the way around.
I hear you. Know I mean? I like fatter necks. You're preaching to the choir.
Oh,
I don't consider it vintage. I just say, hey, I like a fat
Tell
neck.
me this. What did I drop in on as a conversation?
Nice one, Hugh.
Well, Dane was showing his guitar collection, basically paint jobs.
Oh, cool.
And,
yeah.
Well, I'm curious about that.
Well, he just put the pink one away. The pink base, it was a Mockingbird.
I got one more little paint job to show.
Oh, he's got another one to show.
Right, cool.
And because we're now smaller, I'm going to make Dane big, whole screen him for the reveal.
Get down. Oh, shit.
All right, here we go. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
That's nice.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Warranty
Is that
Martini.
new?
Nice maple neck
No,
on
no,
that.
he did this paint. Your guy did that paint job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Warren.
All right. So, what vintage is the neck and all that, or was it a new white guitar?
Okay, well, this started out, the body, okay. This guitar started out as a Charvel kit that most likely he bought out of China. And he painted the body. And then I've had this guitar for about a year, and I finally came across a made in Japan neck. Real deal Japanese Charvel neck that I put on there.
Okay.
Nice.
And so it's got a good neck. And I figure, hey, if it's got a good neck, who cares
Hey,
where
now.
the body came from, right?
Exactly.
So
That's
it
cool.
looks like he made a little back plate for him. And
But
he's
you don't
got
know
a
what
nice
the wood
big
is of
bridge
the
in
of
it.
that.
No, I don't
What's
know
the
what
neck
wood
plate
is.
say?
I'm joking. It doesn't
The
matter.
neck plate is a basic something
looks
that somebody gave me.
No, it
Charvel.
looks cool. It looks the goods. It looks,
People look at guitars and they look in my shop and they're walking around and I tell them that I have parts casters and stuff that I put together and they're like, "Hey, bro, I got a neck plate that says Charvel. I'll give you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I slap it on there and
yeah, it looks great.
that's how this stuff comes
Could
together.
you imagine someone? I got a neck plate that says Charvel. Let me get it out of this drawer here. Here's a yo-yo.
Now, is that
slinky.
a graphic from 1982, or is that just a recreation, or where'd you come up with that inspiration?
It's a Warren D. Martini
Okay.
from Rat. I think in the Round and Round video when he fell through the floor and knocked everything off the table,
Yeah.
I think he was playing this guitar.
That's
All right, so
Warren.
that's
He's so incorrigible.
Or
That's
it might have been this one.
like a known graphic from back in the day.
Yeah, so I've got my
Okay.
so these are my Warren D. Martini duplicates or counterfeit
Clones.
whatever
Yeah.
clones. Yeah.
Sure. I preaching to the choir.
And so again, there are guitars that I don't have price tags on. I just sit here at my shop and for fun, I collect guitars and some I don't sell. And if somebody came up to me and said, "Bro, I'll give you $500 for that thing," then I'd be like, "Well, okay," or if I get trade offers or stuff like that, I can entertain any offer. But I don't want to ship them somewhere and then have somebody. I can't put it on
I'll check
reverb.
one sec, Jerry.
Jerry,
hold it up in 1 sec. So, Jerry, what do you got here? Hold on. Let me put you in the big screen.
Oh, the Monterey Pop. Talk about
that's your
clone guitars.
Yeah.
I was just curious if Dean had one of those, because these are everywhere now. I did this 10 years ago, but
But now they make them, right? Doesn't Fender make them?
Well, yeah, but then you can pay some lady to paint the shit on and stuff. It's like, well, you can just buy
Any
the body.
lady. You just walk up to a lady and say,
Well,
"Jerry told me you could paint this."
No,
Hey,
this
lady.
Hey,
dude, this is like home ec fucking artwork on this thing. You know what I mean? Like anybody who can do art shit, they can do this. But,
All right.
but this guy's on eBay selling bodies already done for like $180 or whatever. It's crazy. I was just curious if you had one of those or Strats, or you're doing more clones of, hair metal stuff, 80s stuff. Is that popular now?
No, lately the stuff that I've been doing is like what I've showed you guys up here. Old Platinum Series and Bronze Series BC Rich stuff that I hang on the walls around the store.
Yeah.
And I actually do YouTube videos and I call them From Garbage to Glitter. Because most of these guitars, honestly, they've been given to me because they're so beat up, or some kid wants $50 for it or something like that. And they end up black and all the wiring's messed up.
Yeah.
And I go through and I send them over to my painter. So I I record a little scene where it's like, here's what we're starting with. And then I give it to my painter, and a month later, then I do the follow-up video where I put it all together and try to act all, wow, this looks so badass now. And, you try to hype it up just for fun, hoping you'll get some views. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done about 10 of them, and I call it From Garbage to Glitter.
I like it.
I make him put glitter on everything or sparkle.
Sure. Or Kubrick Zirconia, you know. Really.
Every
Now, can't
guitar
we call
he
these
plays for
guitars
them.
bedazzled?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they are.
Somewhat bedazzled.
Or you know what you got to do is you got to buy a bedazzler and take like your basic strap and just start bedazzling the strap, and then just say just say this was used by Judas Priest during the US Festival. They'll buy it. They won't even question it. They'll be like, I saw that. That was the Village People biker in a bedazzled motorcycle suit.
Chaps. Bedazzled.
Did I show you the guitar, Dave? When you came on my channel last week, did I show you the guitar signed by the Van Halen guys?
I don't think so. Maybe you could have. I feel terrible because
I got one more to show you.
Attention span to remember what someone shows me.
No, we didn't see this thing.
Okay.
Oh, you know, maybe I did.
Gary
So we've got an
Sharon.
Alex Van Halen.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've got what looks like to be Eddie.
Yep.
We've got what looks like to be Gary Sharon.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Boston.
And then we've got a Michael up here.
Michael's signature looks more like how I would write my name. Like he
And
wrote it with his
so-
foot.
Well, the guy brought this into me, and he goes, "Now, I'm not going to sell you this guitar. You can't have it. I don't want to sell it, and I don't want you to sell it for me. But you can let it hang out in your store as a conversation piece." And I'm like,
Cool.
"Really? You're just going to leave it here so I can have conversations with people about it?" Yeah. And I'm okay. So here it is. Now, what year was Gary Sharon and the whole Van Halen 3 thing?
98. 98.
98?
Wow.
Okay, this guitar,
He combed his hair here with a loaf of bread.
this guitar has a serial number that says N. What's it say? It says N7 in that serial number. So it
Okay.
seems like the right year.
Yeah, he could definitely had it signed in 898.
So the way that this Eddie Van Halen stuff is blowing up because of his death, right? A couple years ago.
What's
seems
Gary
pretty cool.
Sharon's signature worth? Anybody know?
It ain't
Has
worth
that-
shit.
Has that hit 50 cents yet?
Don't start.
You know, I didn't mind him in Extreme, but God, but I just never liked his voice. And when he sang for Van Halen, he really won my argument for me.
No, I was waiting for that album to come out, and then I bought it, and then I got rid of it right away.
I've never heard it.
I've heard one song.
Honestly,
0.0.
There's some good
honestly, I
riffs on
think on the Van Halen 3 album with Gary Sharon, Eddie was in charge. And Gary listened to the music and he said, "Okay, I got to write stuff."
Robert
based
Self, I
on-
hope you're okay. Go on.
based on stuff that Eddie is already sort of has recorded, and I'm going to just make up random words about whatever to
Hey now.
the stuff that's already recorded. Now, David Lee Roth would have said, "Hold on, Ed, I need you to play that riff 3 times. And now I'm going to need you to just hold on to an A chord so I can sing something. And then you can go back and do your crazy lead." But Roth would actually more or less navigate Ed through the writing process, where I don't think Gary Sharon had any say-so in that. He just
it
tried to
almost
sing to
sounded
what
like-
was there.
Almost sounded like he was trying to sound like Sammy too, which he wouldn't. And I want to know if like Eddie kind of pushed him to go in that direction, try to change his voice.
I don't want to look. I don't know if anyone likes Gary Sharon's voice or not. Personally, I think he sucks. But next week's guest, folks, will be Gary Sharon. I'm building my
The
guest list.
cage match.
No, I mean, I just don't like his voice. And didn't he sing on that Queen special, the tribute?
There's a
And when
medley.
he sang, I was like, "Are you kidding me? You're making me miss the guy worse."
What about more
He
than
was
Once,
missing
though?
Freddie Mercury. This guy's making me. I'm ready to exhume him and
And
fucking.
it was
What
down
about-
tuned.
Wow.
It was down tuned like a whole step too, and he still.
What
was kinda struggling.
about though Gary and Nuno Betancourt and they're singing More Than Words together? Now, come on,
Yeah,
guys. You
I don't
gotta
mind
at
that
least give it
song.
up if
Yeah.
it- Okay.
No,
Yeah.
their stuff works.
Yeah, well, I grew up watching Extreme at the clubs around here, in
Yeah.
the living room in Providence.
I don't really
Thomas
mind
the
him in the
Dream.
context of Extreme because somehow in the band Extreme, they kept his voice in a box. Like it worked in what they did. When you try to have him stretch and do other singers, you realize the weakness of his, you know, the old saying, show your strengths and hide your weaknesses. Him staying in Extreme would have been showing his strengths. And his weakness is trying to sing anything outside of that box, in my opinion. Now, I'm not the end
can
all
see
be
that.
all, but I am on this channel, folks. Just kidding.
But you know,
Oh,
I'm not
Christ.
really a fan of like Nuno's work outside of Extreme either.
Oh, he
It's
was
like-
awesome. He's the best.
He's an awesome player.
No,
Don't
I'm
get me
talking
wrong,
to
I'm
you.
just talking about-
He was bringing up George Michael. He's fantastic in that special. I don't
Now,
know
what
that
about
guitar
this,
almost-
guys? Look at this. I do have a David Lee Roth pickguard from
Oh, you got to
2001.
put it on it.
What if we installed the Roth pickguard?
Oh, that'd be great. And then just take a black Sharpie and cross off Gary Sharon.
You just devalued it.
Yeah, well,
Devalued
is
it.
you
Now it
could
goes
fool-
up.
you could fool people into thinking that Roth signed it when
That is a
Sharon's
great
was on it, or the
conversation
other way
piece.
around. So
I love
it's like-
Richard Page from Mr. Mister.
$40.
Let's
I know,
forget
that's
about the
all it's
concert, go across the freeway and get ourselves
Honestly,
something
how
to
much
drink.
is it worth, right? How much? If I
Whatever
wanted
his
to be a real
signature's worth.
capitalist, I could wait until Dave passes on and then throw
Now
it
that
on
says
Zoom
David Lee
a
Roth
day
because to
later.
me it looks like it says David Ploth. God, I can't.
It looks like
I
it says
guess-
P in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
P-E-E. David P.
P.
Roth.
Heff.
Yeah.
David P. Heff.
How did you obtain that item? What's the story on that?
I have a music store, and honestly,
Leo
I
liked
don't
them.
even recall how I got this.
Came in on a Strat,
Came in somehow, yeah.
and then and then you're like, well, we want to get money for this guitar, so take that pick
It was
guard
a
off.
guy, I think it was a guy that used to work at Guitar Center, and they had it up on the wall on the Strat, and I ended up buying I saw it on Craigslist or something, and I gave him $150 for the whole thing or something.
Cool.
Ended up with a good neck.
Cool.
Yeah, so I ended up with a neck and a pickguard.
That's amazing. California, where it's all happening.
Next week on the show, CC DeVille will be joining us.
Oh, easy.
But I'm only going to badmouth him once he's here.
I'm sure he's used to it.
CC
Actually,
DeVille.
we have two guests, CC DeVille and Richie Kotzen.
I like Richie.
I had the
Richie's
Richie
great.
Kotzen-
What's wrong with Richie?
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you
No,
lump
no,
them
they
in the
were
same
both-
sentence like that?
They were
Because
both in
Rich-
Poison. They were both
Yeah, it's a
in
horrible
Poison.
joke.
Really?
Yeah.
He was.
I had
Did
one
my
of the
producer
Richie Kotzen
approve
fellas.
that joke? What
No.
the hell is going on here, folks?
I'm the producer.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Krelbar and Moses in a sword fight.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Because I think Moses will wipe him
How
out.
tall,
Oh,
how
yeah,
tall is Moses? He'll take out my kneecaps.
Hugh Caldwell makes a good point. In 2 weeks, folks, stay tuned for the Bob Dylan special. Bob will be here with special guest Gary Sharon.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
God save us from that.
They played live recently. Extreme.
I told Bob Dylan's producer before he comes on the show he has to sing every answer. Therefore, I won't understand one word he says.
Howdy he. Oh.
And there we go.
Oh, look at this.
Oh.
There's some guitars.
guitars.
Oh, look, there's this whole shop. Oh, it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
nice
it's
looking
a big-
shop.
This is a big
Wow.
fucking room, man.
Yeah, I thought you made it
How
sound like it was.
How many
It was
square feet?
oh, here we go. Oh, we got a sword fight with Moses, folks. In the
Hey,
making.
now, motherfucker. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Cat.
That's
You got a lot of
fun.
guitars in here. Look at you got amps,
Yeah.
pedals. You got a Boss poster. Wait, you got a Boss
I
poster?
spy a
Close the shop.
Marshall.
Dave, make that the thumbnail.
Oh, hold on. Let me break it up. Let me break that up there.
Oh, look at the
Got a lot of
Boss
pedals in that case.
case. Yeah.
What is he got? A bazooki over there? What is that?
Get some hollow body shit.
I like. He's got the yellow tiger looking
What's
ESP
these,
looking thing.
What's these Gretsch things on the right?
And Johnny Ramone's wife, Bendeo. You're damn
oh,
right.
there's more.
Now, how much would you pay? But wait,
That's That's
There's
pretty
more.
much my whole. That's my guitar wall, and there's
pretty
50
good,
guitars
dude.
in the top row and 50 on the bottom row.
What's that
Very-
Marshall? Is that,
very
no?
impressive.
That's a solid state Marshall right there.
No, that's a little DSL
No.
40.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 40
Oh,
DSL.
cool amp.
And I see a
try to
Katana.
have just I try to have small combo amps because I can't sell 412 cabs anymore. Nobody wants 412 cabs.
Right.
Is that an acoustic amp there with the blue stripe on it?
I'm glad you brought that up, Dane. I'm watching the US Festival the other day, the Judas Priest one. There are 8 Marshall JCM 1959s. You know, the basically the plexi copies there. Not one of them is plugged in. Not one of them is on. Wait, I said there was 8, but I think they were double-headed as well. It was insane. And then they had that one of the cabinets was mic'd, but they must have the head backstage behind them. Because somebody was controlling the effects. They didn't have any pedals or anything. But during Victim of Changes, all of a sudden, the guitars had tons of delay and echo on them. So they had to be controlled from backstage. That's back when Tex used to do everything.
Yeah, you remember back in the 80s, that was the whole thing about having the wall Marshalls, and most of them were dummy cabs.
Those
Most of them.
guys sound good.
Every one of them was.
Back in that
What?
time.
Maybe
frame.
one of them was.
No, they had two working cabs, but obviously the heads were backstage. But
Yeah.
they not a full
Helfrich's voice sounds strong.
Who?
Isn't it Helfrich?
Yeah, Halford. Rob Halford.
Halford, excuse me. Yeah, but he's, in that time frame.
Oh, he was great.
So, yeah. Well, the whole band, they're tight as fuck.
So in the Cheech, no, I was on his show the other day. The Dreamer Deceiver came on today on Ozzy's Boneyard Deep Cuts. And I was like, are you kidding me? The song is just, it's not happening for me. Too mellow for the gym. Jackson bass.
That's cool. Now, how old's that?
I don't know what Joe did. Oh, I guess.
Nice color. That looks like back in the day there, dude. No? Ah.
Chandler.
Yeah, that is back in the day. That's an interesting part space. That's right out of their catalog.
Well, Chandler still sells parts today, don't they? Aren't they that make a bunch of pick guards for people?
Yeah.
Maybe not next.
Maybe Paul's not around anymore, but yeah, but that pointy head, the hockey stick headstock.
It's cool.
It is.
That guitar, I actually get to go. My bands were opening for Striper in November at the Whiskey a Go Go. I should take that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And
When are they playing?
They're at the Whiskey a Go Go November. I don't know the date.
My
but-
buddy Howie sometimes fills in on guitar in that band.
I mean, how wrong would it be to get some black electrical tape and wrap it around that thing a couple of times and show up at the Striper show playing a black and yellow bass?
Till you get hit with a cease and desist.
They thought they'd
Check.
think I was a dick.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone
Can't
would
do
love
that.
it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would.
Friday, November 4th.
I don't know what happened to Joe. Did Joe turn his camera off or did he go help Mikey?
You may have gone to help Mikey.
I might have
Oh, okay, 'cause
insulted him with my sword and my
Oh,
horrible
no.
sword.
His camera got cloudy, which means would interpret for Bob. Mommy. Hey, listen, guys. I don't know where. What is Jerry's favorite guitar?
The Stratocaster.
He likes the Breadwinner from Ovation.
Well, that's a good one. Oh, what's it? What's the other one? A fucking Peacemaker or something? There's another
Whatever it
oddball.
is. It's
Yeah,
the fucking
there's
I've
another
never
one.
had.
It's the
I've
Bodor.
never had one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
That's what you use when you're taking
Horrendous.
Fredo out on the boat.
yeah.
All right, folks, listen, I'm just going to see if Joe's going to make it back here because we usually just go till 10 o'clock.
Wow, that
I'll
was
go
a
till-
quick 2 hours.
I'll go till Joe comes back. It's not quick for me because I look at the clock and I ate at like 6:30, so I'm getting a little bit on the hungry side.
I got to do the road work, Dave.
You're gonna start running?
No, I'm just gonna go walk for an hour. But you know,
Oh, you're doing it now?
after this, yeah, that's.
Oh,
what I'm gonna
wow.
do. Yeah. So
I have a
and I'm
doctor's
still on a-
appointment
I'm
tomorrow
still
morning.
on
I
a
get my blood.
fast.
I get my blood work done tomorrow just to see, just to follow up because I don't take any of the meds anymore, and he likes to see me every 3 months. But I've been doing great, and then I go
So,
back into.
You look good, kid. You look
Thanks.
good.
I hit the gym
Yeah.
tomorrow morning. After that, well, noon, I'll hit the gym. I get back and cardio tomorrow.
I had to stop taking
Oh,
that gap
Dave, the lemon
Why?
juice.
because it was killing. Taking it before bed, yeah, it would put me asleep right away. But it is an awful night of me waking up, and I just feel like,
Oh, really?
a real bad feeling.
Well, you need to do it.
I
with
tried it for a week.
You need to do it with fentanyl. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Do it the Michael
Big
Jackson
scoop.
way.
Yep.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
I like the GABA. I take it with melatonin.
I think if I
Oh,
if
somebody
I
asked
take
about lemon
during
water.
the
Who
day,
was that? Was that you,
That
Jerry?
was me. The lemon juice. So I bought the concentrate.
Okay,
Right?
good.
All
Yep.
right, and you blast like 2 fucking ounces in there.
Yeah.
It's like heavy.
It's good.
The bottle's like, I don't know, 12.
Oh, you don't have to put.
you know.
Yeah, Joe, that's what you do as well. You use the lemon juice concentrate,
Yeah.
and you add water.
I add
Little
water
sweet-
and then three Truvia.
All right, little sweetener.
What's
And
your
then you put
ratio, Joe?
You do it to your taste.
Juice to
I don't
water?
use any
This,
sweetener.
this is
Oh, show
48
them.
ounce bottle, right?
Show them. Let's see
So
the
right
bottle. Hold on.
about over here with the lemon. The
Yeah.
rest is water and 3 packets of Truvia. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Make it
plenty
No
of
doubt.
water.
experiment until you get what you like.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. It's to taste.
You know, if you find it's too weak, you suck some down. You add more lemon juice.
Right.
Try it. Oh, maybe it needs more sweetener. Throw another packet in. Then you'll finally get, okay, so I put this much. I use that much. It's perfect.
All right. And do you
or
find
you
it
could just
helping?
measure it out ahead of
with your
time and just
process?
consistently do it the same way.
What was that?
Do you find it helping with your process?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
your
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
program, is it?
I finally got back onto keto because my dinosaur brain woke up and gave me a good suggestion that I wish I had gotten years ago.
which
And
was-
like the one thing I couldn't get off of was ice cream. And then my brain
I
taps
know,
me on
man.
my brain taps me on the shoulder and says, maybe it's not really the ice cream you need. You just want something cold and sweet. So I bought a blender and now I make my lemonade, but I'm putting in a half a thing of the ice cubes. I'm putting the lemon juice, a little bit of water, and the Truvia. It's like an icy or a
yeah.
a
Italian
slush.
slush.
Perfect. But what I'll also do is I'll do with the ice. I'll put in about half a cup of heavy whipping cream, crush it up, throw in the sweetener again. But then there's a stuff called Skinny's flavoring. You get it on Amazon. It's no carbs, no calories. They got raspberry, strawberry. And I tried it. I said, let's see if this works. The first mouthful, it was like I heard angels sing. And I was like, and that's what got me back onto the keto. Like now I won't eat anymore tonight, but I'll make the slush. Even if I have 2 huge glasses, there's not a calorie in there or a carb.
Yeah.
And it's all delicious flavor.
That's great.
Well, Joe,
motivated.
if you got a blender, you can make that blender ice cream that I make. The protein ice cream comes out like soft serve. The whole blender, like 7 to 8 cups, it's like 200 calories to 250 calories.
Send me the recipe.
Yep, I'll send it to you in message on Facebook.
Post a link.
I don't have a link to it.
God, I'm just fucking with you, man.
Yeah, I keep that recipe online.
Yeah.
I want to thank. Let me go through the thanks, guys.
Bang.
I want to thank Jerry for coming in late and joining the
My
party.
pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you again for taping the girl's mouth shut in the well, screaming about her dog. Keep the night vision glasses heady because I heard Clarice is coming over. I want to thank Dane Zimmerman, otherwise known as Zims Guitars.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, guys.
Dane, you're welcome anytime you want to
Every
come on the
week,
show.
Dane,
Just let me know.
thank you.
I'll send you a link every week. If you want to come on, come in.
Get
We
your ass in
we
here.
Shop.
Yep. Send those
like a
links. I'll
store.
show up.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a fun show. It's usually we talk about more stuff, but Krelbar really messed us up. No, I'm just kidding, Krell.
If Dane and Jerry weren't here, it would have been what we're watching on Tubi this week for 5 hours.
Yeah, I would have went into the minutia of Columbo.
Yes.
Which I don't think that these people want to hear anymore.
You know, I've watched tons of your episodes, but I sit at home and I watch it on my big screen, so I don't I'm not able to add comments or hit the like button or any of that stuff.
Oh, really?
I just watch.
Yeah, you watched this show?
You can read the comments. Oh, yeah.
That's what happens with me when I watch his live shows. I'm usually on my Roku. You can't comment.
Right.
You know, you can.
Did you see the live show on Saturday, Joe?
No, we had an emergency this weekend. We would. Yeah.
And did any of you guys happen to catch it?
I caught a little of it after.
It's on the channel now. It says we're playing AM station. Marathon. Absolutely, Hugh. I'll send you the link. I'm surprised I didn't send you the link this week. I think I sent it last week to you, Hugh. If I didn't this week, it was my mistake. I usually just automatically send it.
Was that the show where you made a post on Instagram? I was dying. You said, "Yeah, let me wear a red shirt today. Emily never wears red," and there's a picture of the two of you sitting there wearing red.
Yeah, that was we played in Cohasset on the water for July 3rd, and I'm wearing my red shirt. And I just figured I don't know what she was going to wear. I show up and she's wearing red. I'm like, we should just get matching suits.
You took a gamble. You like the
Milo Janis Fitness Center is the greatest. Robert Conrad is Milo Janis. Headstock Harem. Todd, very nice. All right, everyone, listen. We'll do this again next week. If I feel like it. We'll do it again. And I'll probably be here again because the mosquitoes are out, so I do my cigars earlier. You like to gamble, Cosmo? Everybody, if you get the chance, watch The Briss. It's on Netflix. You can watch it's the Seinfeld episode, The Briss. The Moyle absolutely kills me. Hey, hip shot. That's Charlene. What's happening? You came late. We're wrapping it up.
Wrapping it down. Winding down.
We're winding down. Very good. Everyone, I want to thank everyone.
Day where Jerry's got to deliver the mail and Newman gets caught. No mailman's ever cracked 50%.
Oh, that's fucking great.
They were so hard on the mail. Oh, man. Nearly 80% of the people got their mail. We
paint the garage red.
They knew it wasn't me.
So he was trying to get to Hawaii, right?
He wanted to get to Hawaii.
Oh, thanks, Charlene. That is so funny. I have 8 whole
bags to deliver on top of my regular one. I'll never be able to do it.
That is so funny.
That show got better and better. And it never, most shows decline. That one kept going up and up and up.
But the insanity of the Moyle when he's like, is this your glass? I noticed you put it at the edge of the table. You have the whole table to pick from. The whole. When he starts going nuts, I'm like, this guy, it's gold. How they just weren't laughing at that guy's acting. I would have cried.
Oh, they probably, if you look at outtakes, I'm sure it took a few takes. You know, the one thing people always said was,
"Oh, really, Leo?" The Moyle, the guy who plays the Moyle, is my favorite.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that guy was great character.
Oh, I knew I should put it at the. Oh, it's so great.
But people always say one of the best things about Seinfeld is that those once or twice side characters that would come on were always so memorable. They'd steal the show. They're insane. Yeah. I saw the one where Jerry's doing the bootlegging, and the guy, what was the guy who's like the bootlegger?
Oh, I love him.
And he at one point, you know, he grabs the bat. He goes, "You mind if I borrow this?" He goes, "Yeah, go ahead. Do you need the glove?" Nah. Nah. He's not going to play baseball.
You're an artist, Jerry. You're an artist the way you filmed that. Classic.
And they get Elaine dancing on the end of the tape. Cry again. Because first you see it and you cry. And then when you see the dancing, you cry again.
It's great. It's great. Everybody, please spend some time watching Seinfeld. And if you have never seen The Sopranos, or you've seen a few episodes because you started to watch it, but then you backed out, you go back and you watch the entire Sopranos. There's no excuse. You can bang the thing out in a few days. It's fantastic.
Couple sandwiches.
It's really great. Oh, now I remember the line. Poor you. Ah, Nancy Marchand when she says that. Poor you. Fucking great. Anyways, guys, we hope Paulie Walnuts rests in peace.
God rest
Jimmy Kahn. Who else was it this week?
Jesus.
And there was
Larry Storch.
and Larry Storch.
Oh, they're dropping like flies.
Oh, Brett Tuggle too, the guitar player from David Lee Roth's band.
I
Not
told you
guitar
ne-
player, keyboard player.
I told you never bring up Brett Tuggle. Never bring him. No, I'm
And the
kidding.
80.5 capacitor that had to be replaced on my air conditioner. That could rest in peace too.
Yes.
Larry Storch was 99 years old.
Yeah, God
Yeah,
bless him.
he would have
God
been
rest his
100 in
soul.
You
January.
got to watch the Briss. I also like the one. It's called the Conversation. That's the one when Kramer has the Kavorka.
Oh, that's great. The conversion. The conversion.
Oh, the Conversion. Yeah, the Conversion. I'm sorry. What did I say? The
The
Conversation. Yeah, the
law
Conversion.
of the Kavorka.
The law of the animal.
You need to take a bath. You stink.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to work out. By the way, you need to take a bath. You stink. Oh, it's so good. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Anyone else want to say anything before we go? We're going to cut it out. No, we're all good.
Take care.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, very good.
Good.
Okay, goodbye, Ted.
Goodbye.